Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. The weekend went very fast. But to join us tonight as we continue with the rise and fall of Napoleon, tonight it's part 9, Bijani, and well, we're flying between France. Well, we're flying in France and then Belgium. And we're taking out the Gottfried's Aeroprakt A-32. Right, this is a lovely little plane, so looking forward to this one. But we shall start at the beginning of the penultimate episode of this Napoleon series, and we're nearly there. Haha, brilliant! We're nearly there. So tonight, friends, we follow Napoleon from the wreckage of Russia into a Europe that has finally learned how to defeat him. Yes, disease, exhaustion, rebellion hollow out his power, new alliances rise, culminating in his final confrontation with the Duke of Wellington at Waterloo. It is a story of an empire under siege, a commander fighting against itself, time itself, and the decisive battles that bring the Napoleonic era to its end. We're going to depart here out of Abbeville in France as we make our way east. We have a stop at Lille, then we're over to a place called Le Bourg Elme. It may be, right, let's just go with it. Before we enter Belgium, yes, then we shall overfly Brussels South Airport, which is in Charleroi. And then we land at a place called Buzet Airstrip. From there, we're going to explore the battlefield of Waterloo. We're going to take in the sights of the Lion's Mound. And from here, we continue north, exploring the city of Brussels itself. And then finally, up to Antwerp for a full stop landing. So it's not the most fastest machine in the world, cruising somewhere between 90 and 110 knots. But I'm looking forward to it. Got Friends did an amazing job creating this aircraft, and it's quite different. We can have the old-fashioned steam gauge, which is, I think, just for flight sim. They usually ship with modern avionics, and it's a lovely small little airplane, ultralight category. And well, we're going to take this for a spin to see what we all get up to. But anyway, how was your day? How was Monday? I had a productive day. I've Murphy on mute, so I can just stay in the chat and not hear all the history. Come on, Gibbo! Brilliant! Gibbo, the good news is we're nearly there. This is our second last one, right? And, right, then we're going to do something different. We're going to, like, do futuristic streams. You know, the Fireflies in future. Wait, we could do Star Trek. But anyway, yeah, my day today, well, I mean, as every other Monday kind of is. I finally got the box thingy I wanted for my sitting room, yes, and the cat loves it. She wouldn't get out of it. And that's about it. We made a video. Did a video on Flow Pro. That's posted there on the YouTube if you want to check it out. And what else did I do? Not a whole lot, really. That was about it. Music could be Worf. Right? Who would I be? And don't say, would I be Picard? Would I be a good... I could be Picard. You know, I could be a Riker as well. But, right, you know... We'll have to think on that, Gibbo. Right, if we were in Star Trek, what would we be? No, who would we be? Yeah, that's the one. I'd love to say that's Lieutenant Uhura, but it's not, right? That's a joke in my head. But anyway, Data, definitely Q. I'd be Q? Really? Me? Q? Absurd. Right, anyway, more like number one. I could be Miles O'Brien. See what we've started? It's Napoleon. It's not Star Trek. What if, though? I mean, we could pretend, of course, that we are either an away team or, in fact, we're on the holodeck. Yes, and we've come back to this time. This is incredible. Your imagination can go absolutely wild. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. But anyway, you're all very welcome in. I've buttons over here, look. And... Ah, yes. We're kitted out today with thanks to flightsimtees.com. Looking awful terribly nice. Awfully terribly nice. That's the one. We're speaking very well dressed, or we're dressed very well spoken. Whichever one you prefer. But if you do like this kind of regalia, well, down here, you see, there's a link. You can't click it. Just remember the TTM part, because you can save yourself 10%, and saving money is always a good thing. So be sure to check it out. Who the hell is Worf? Like you don't know, Muse fan. Like you don't... Hang on. Muse, pull up the handbrake now. Whoa, let's stall this carriage. Are you telling me you haven't watched Star Trek The Next Generation? Worf, son of Mog. What? Anyway, yes, be sure to check out all the new designs. This one here, it won't be very relative or relevant in 2027, but I reckon, you know, based on the rest of my wardrobe, in about 15 years' time, this would be a classic. You remember 2026, man? Right. Yeah, all brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But anyway, you have ages ago, it's nothing special. Ah, Jesus. Muse fan, I mean, it's not important. What's important is we're all here together, whatever your day was. Right, and I mean this genuinely. If you had a crap day, or you had an alright day, or, you know, maybe there's worry in your life, or whatever it is, for the next few hours, it's all gone. Doesn't exist. For the next few hours, we're doing a thing, and that thing is flying together as a group, learning about inaccurate history that I've collided. Right? Be brilliant. We'll make up our own history, sure. And Napoleon, fierce man for the tuna sandwich. Jay-Z loved it. Right, we can have fun with this. But anyway, who's here, look, on this a Monday? CP65, you're welcome aboard. Tarnish Mossman is here, happy Monday. Super Ty, sup? Hope you're well, buddy. Mrs. TPHI, she who lives upside down and speaks terrible things. Good evening, hope you're well. Eamon 1973, welcome aboard. Fierce Wolf looking fierce. And Wolfie. Welcome in, man. Chalks, good evening. Eddie's in the house. Ferocious Gamer, good evening. the French, a great bunch of lads. Who else come in? Frozen Gamer, you're very welcome. Mrs. TPHI with 100 streams in a row. Jesus, thank you very, very much indeed, Mrs. Let me see. Killswitch, good evening. 613 Studio, a very good evening to you. I hope you're well. Angry Bee, good evening. Chuck is in the house. Strap21. How dare you? Good to see us, Strap. Gar Gaming is here. Haha, English. Hello to County Galway. Where am I? I'm in Tipperary. It's 1 degree. Yep, it's 1 degree. Single figures. Jesus. The Limbics. Hope you're well, buddy. APU Inspector is here. Toto, welcome in, man. Linny Bobbins, it's yourselves. Happy Monday. Very happy returns, Linny. Let me see. Vacuum is in the house. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope you're well. Buttons, Murph, you ran out of them. Ah, yes. Commander Balosh, very happy Monday. North Coast Mike, good evening, man. He says, great video on Flow Pro. Thank you very much indeed. McStallion is here. Sun Jammer, welcome aboard. Liptorius, happy Monday. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Welcome aboard. John C, good evening. Norse Viking Gaming is here. Filthy. Is it Monday again? Indeed. Killswitch is here for 55 streams in a row. Thank you very much indeed. Viper Strike, good afternoon from Aruba. Janie, Aruba. What's it like, Viper? Is it warm out there? You know, swimming togs weather. Right. Nutty Slack, good evening. Funny how that... Soaring AJ. AJH, man, hope you're well. Crafty Tigers, Murphy, wait, no he doesn't. He says, happy Murphy Monday, everyone. Yes, that sounds great. Murphy Monday, Two-Tone Tuesday, Windbreak Wednesday, Touchdown Thursday, Firefly Friday. Bit of thought went into that one, Crafty, I like it. Anthony V, good evening. Good morning, rather. Also in New Zealand, Kia ora, my dude. Let me see here. Creo, hope all is well. Hello to County Mayo. Mr. Minimite is here. Larry, good to see you. Grimmy McGinn, good evening. Old Veteran 965. Happy Monday, y'all. It's good to see you, Scott. You're looking well. The Impossible Face, Guten Abend, my friend. To bring in the Islander out for the change, he says. Come on, Buchel. Now, Mac Vision, good evening. Husker Do is here. Flyer 10, bonsoir. Mech Manser, good evening. 98 Vulcan is here. Greetings from Gosford in Australia. Hello from Tipperary in Ireland. Hope you're well. UTB, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Daddy Plump is here. Idle Cutoff. Good evening, Murph. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Good day, Husa. Captain Gaiman is here. Good to see you, man. You're looking well. Do you still wear the pin? Yeah, the thing, do you remember? But you're welcome in. Sunjammer, time to show how the British finished the job with some help from the Prussians. Yeah, giving away the spoilers. But yes, El Barto, good evening. I'm Pierce is here. Krabby One, hello. Lear, welcome aboard, Lear. Hope you're well. Stu Snape has rambled in with 60 streams in a row. Good evening, Stu. He says, evening, Murph. Hope you're well. I tried to import your flow settings via the restore, but it's not working. I must be doing something wrong. I wonder, do you need to have certain things downloaded? I never checked it, but sure we'll see. That's easy for you, right? What? QC Frank, just won a fierce battle against me Christmas tree. It's now asleep for next Christmas. The dreaded putting the Christmas tree into the attic maneuver. Right. Gibbo is here. Good to see you, man. And, well, I hope you're well. Let me see. Photos by Kev. Very good evening, Kev. Kev, I watched back that video the other day. I forgot to compliment you on it with your Insta 360 camera. The rig is looking fantastic, man. You look so very comfortable. The chair, you know. I was on my rig the other day. I look like the equivalent of putting an oversized sleeping bag into a child-sized sleeping bag holder. Do you know what I mean? Right, but yours looked very comfy. Yes. There's an image in your head. Muse can be Worf, right? Muse fan is here. Good to see you, Muse. He bursts in the door. There's buttons happening. Let me see here now. Yeah, Q, do you reckon? I don't know. Uniform Goose. Good day, Goose. Welcome in, man. Muse's dog could be Worf. Murphy could be Scotty. Wait, what? Holly. Wait, wrong show. Come on, Eddie. Murphy sounds more like Chief Engineer Argyle. Who's that now? Fibro, good evening. We'll only enjoy the show tonight, but can't join the flight. No worries, it won't be the same without you. But we'll carry on. Let me see here now. Don't make me post links. Murph is Packlet. Who's Packlet? Kozaki Flyer, welcome in, buddy. Let me see. Voyager's in the house, welcome aboard. I tried to do a timeout on Muse, it didn't work. Brilliant. First Lord of the Rings and then Star Trek. It is terrible, Viper, isn't it? Can someone ban Muse? Some things are not acceptable. Right, do you know? You put your foot in it this time, Muse, you know? I think you'll want to burn that shirt by the end of the year. Not at all. 2026 is our year, lads. This is a great year for us as a community, as flight simulation enthusiasts and those who enjoy Star Trek. It's our year, right? Although, if the new Star Trek friggin' Academy is nothing to go by... Murph is slagging me and he doesn't even know who Argyle is. Well, I've heard it all now. Who was Argyle? Wasn't he in one of those other shows like Battlestar Galactica or something? Or was he in... He wasn't in Father Ted. Don't be saying that now. Fly Murph is here. Make up your own history. Like allegedly saying the red tato is the good tato. Whoa. Now hang on, Murph. Right. I mean, there's massaging the facts, right? As in, you know, victory is in the arms of the victor. No, history is it. Balls, I said it wrong. How are you, Murph? It's good to see you. Tato or better. Yeah, tato. Right. Right. I like how Murph makes a concerted effort to include everyone, says Voyager Sun. Well, thank you very much. It drives other people nuts. But I don't care. You see, everyone has taken the opportunity and time out of their lives to be here to say hello. I want to say hello back. You know, that's how this works. And the reason why there's like, you know, a few minutes of an intro is to allow everyone kind of, you know, come in. Otherwise, if I start, I'd be answering the same question many times and it wouldn't make much sense. The entire stream, in fact, would be, we're doing this. You know what I mean? Not my first barbecue. I learned by copying others. And, you know, Wraith Tempest, good evening. Dead Stick is in the house. Eamon says, Murph should get rid of the name Fireflies and rename us Murph and his Klingons. Right. MFS is here. Good to see you. Macam Dad, welcome aboard. AZ Blue Line, welcome in. Captain Gaiman says, it's going to be minus 17. In our... Minus 17? Jesus, lads. There's Klingons on the starboard bow. All together now. We're Star Trekking across the universe. Good afternoon from a snowy Boston. Good to see you, Hermit. Hope you're well, buddy. Sumner is here. Welcome aboard. Happy Monday, man. Let me see now. Have you found my sister yet? Wait, what? Oh, Kev is talking to Viper Strike. You have Viper Strike looking for your sister. She's on a cruise. Ah, right. Flying Trits, good evening. Hope you're well. Wings beneath me wind. Yeah, indeed. Where's this now? That was the first thought. You had add-ons you're not using that I don't have, or that I am using. That could be the case, yes. Let me see. Sumner has subscribed Tier 1 for 5 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Sumner. Appreciate the support. The dude. Where's this now? Murph's slagging me. Yeah, no, don't mind that. Argyle is a jumper. Wait, first engineer of Star Trek. Wait, first engineer on the first season. Huh? I actually like Starfleet Academy. Ah, no, hang on. What? Really? Don't say that, Gibbo. Holy Hunter, though. Oh, Holly Hunter. Who's Holy Hunter? Who's Holly Hunter? Crisp Wars, let's go again. Right. With teeth like that, one must be of those Ferengi chaps. Jesus. Right, I mean, I know I don't have great delf, but Jesus. Leave your emotions at the door. Why? Idle Cutoff is on the prowl. He's going to destroy them. He's going to ruin your emotions. Jesus. Jesus. Right. We're going to talk like this now. Bloody hell. Cracker, good to see you again. I was on board HMS Argyle back in the Royal Navy days. Oh, Jesus. Brilliant. Now, Zybak Doc is here. Pay attention. Calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. Good to see you. Boldly going forwards because Murph can't find reverse. Wait, what? Kev Kira, good to see you. Star Trek fan indeed doesn't know who Packlets are. This is... get braces. Jeez. What you say that I am harsh? Yeah, Scott. Bloody hell. Scott's like a teddy bear now. Right? Jesus. Which character in Star Trek had the smallest hands? Jeez, it's a tough crowd tonight, I tell you. What? A tough crowd tonight. Over to our YouTube chat. Welcome in, lads. Hope you're all well. Kubi Montana is here. Ernie Ed, good evening. Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Good to see you, buddy. Flying Diggs. Howdy. Good to see you, Diggs. Hope you're well, buddy. Jason is here. Good to see you. Where's this now? Mark Swan, a very good evening. Sourdough Man is here. Let me see. The American ones are built not far from me. The airstrip is included with the plane, says Jason. Yes. Of the Aeroprakt. They're an awesome plane. Aviation Tyler, good day. Zappel is in the house. Flight Sim Max, good evening. Jace Ward is here. Finally got your Verpal. Ooh, nice. Let me see now. Wick, Shill, I have to correct you. You're going to try to fly. That's more accurate, yes. We shall attempt to do the thing and still fail miserably. Let me see. Historic Wings, good evening. History on the March, flying in the footsteps of Napoleon for the win. Indeed. You're very welcome in. Johnny Shue, good to see you. Northland Air, very happy.
Dreamy, sleepy,
Monday.
nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Come back on me, Lloyds. Let me see now. Pilot, good to see you. Watching from Belgium. Well, hello from Ireland. You're very welcome. Let me see. Angels 1-5 is here. Good to see you, buddy. Now, right, we're catching up. Just because I'm mad. Wait, what? I'm flying the Typhoon, not that longitude in front of you. Ah, right. Devil Fly, good evening. Speaking of which, the Eurofighter got an update. I thought Murph would be Morn. Morn? Who was Morn? I just don't like these people. Wait now, come on, Willow. I just don't like these people that were taking the mickey out of you, Murph. But I do admit you have small hands. Oh, Jesus. I saw Austin Powers and you have a great smile. Brilliant. Packlids are from Babylon 5. Yeah, you see, not Star Trek, right? Not Star Trek. Let me see. Nighthawk, good day. Will the Belgian line be visible? Yes, it will. It will. Right, now, give me some time and I can change the direction of the chat. We were talking about tools yesterday. It got pretty out of hand.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Bellbro is here. Wonder how Napoleon is doing. We're going to find out now in a minute. Great crack now tonight. Corn Wolf, good day to you, sir. Hope you're well. May have another accident and bought the A340, says Stu Snape. Uh-oh. Right. Hans Smallow. Ah, Jesus. Don't listen to the Murph. I think your feet are fang-tasket. I can't even say it. Shag off, Gibbo. Listen, I've told you before, right? What you see, I'm fierce handy to be in public with you. I stand beside you. People will take one look at me, then they'll look back to you, glance at me again, and you've now gone from that number much higher. Let's say you were a 5, instantly a 7. If you were an 8, you're now a 10. I'm very handy to have around, you know. That's my excuse. Now, let me see. They were from Star Trek The Next Generation. Wait, what? Who? Trust Murph to try and sway the conversation back to tools again. Wait, what? The first season of The Next Generation. Really? What's got 2 thumbs and still sick? Oh, epic fool, you're still under the weather, you poor old divil. Jesus. The pack lads kidnapped Geordie. Listen, can we just agree to disagree? Right? You know, everything's grand. Where's this button? Oh, Jesus. You see, I used to have all of this stuff. I never can't find it. Yeah. Where is it? Jesus, they're all gone.
We can't do it. If we keep this speed, we'll blow up any minute now.
I do hear that all the time, you know. But anyway, right, well, we get to it now. You know, you've had your fun. Your emotions are destroyed. Thanks very much. Let's watch a stream. Brace yourself, Murph. It's going to be a long night. Right? Wait, what? Brace. Hang on. I just got that now, you big brilliant. By the way, if you're wondering what it sounded like hydraulics. Brilliant. This is why I haven't seen a single Star Trek episode, says Energizer. Yeah, don't. It'll ruin your emotions, right? You're at this a while, Murph, aren't you? Bit long in the tooth. Listen, right. We're moving on. I won't even tell you some of the nicknames I was given. But anyway, Jesus, there's someone running. Now, you're very welcome in. Right, now, let's see. Let's see where Napoleon is today. Yes, Mike, that is exactly what we're going to do. We're here about Napoleon. Yes, not about Murph and his mad-looking delve. Right, now. Oh, Jesus. Great bunch of lads. Right, anyway, we'll show you the plan for our flight this evening as we continue on with our Napoleon series. And let me see. Whoosh, Navigraph. Whooshing. Does your navigraph make that sound? So we're on the ground here at Abbeville. This was actually a former RAF base or Allied base back in the late unpleasantness. But anyway, we're going to be flying from here. First shock is 54 miles over to Lima Foxtrot, Quebec, and that's over to Lille. From Lille, it's down to the southeast, and we're going to be heading over to that place I just can't pronounce. Lima Foxtrot, Quebec, Juliet. It is that of Elesme. Let's go with that. From there then into Belgium we ramble, and where we're looking for, lads, from Echo Bravo Bravo Zulu, Buzet Airfield, small little airfield. From here we're very, very close indeed to where the Battle of Waterloo was. And where the Battle of Waterloo was, right here, this is called Lion's Mound. And we're going to learn a little bit about Lion's Mound when we're up that neck of the wood, right? Or up that neck of the woods, because it's interesting. Then we're going to fly over Brussels, and then from Brussels it's up to Antwerp, and that's where we have a full stop landing, right? So that's the plan. That's the plan. Murph, I'm going to get 2 of those touchscreens. Nice. Mark, get 1 first and see how you get on with it, because 2 is probably overkill. But it's great for using the likes of Navigraph.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll show you this camera view here, look. Ah, brilliant. So if you look over here, right, this is a touchscreen over here. I can zoom in and zoom out, and I always put my flight plan there. See that? And that fares handy. And that's using a touchy-feely screen, which are about, at the time I bought this, it was around €90. And when you consider it, I mean, like a tablet, a couple of hundred, right? So that was the plan there, you know. Yeah, there's loads of aircraft all over the shop here. It's going to be brilliant, right? Who's that Egypt now? Would you go up and over it? We've choppers and everything here. So this is our machine for tonight, lads. This, as I said, is from Gottfriends, and it's an amazing little airplane. Modern, absolutely incredible for training, because you've got, will you get out of the shag? Because you've good old views here. If you look at the amount of glass, you see an awful lot of glass. It's just a nice machine. Performance-wise, I mean, we fitted Tundra tyres to it, so this thing does have very good stall capability. And the Aeroprakt, they're built in Europe and in the United States. And, well, Gottfriends released this. They actually released it alongside a scenery of a flight school that use these aircraft. They sell them, and they also use them as well. So it's very, very nice indeed. So this is our machine. Right, it's a touchy-feely screen extra on the touch screen. Is a touchy-feely screen? It is. Yeah, the Ukrainian aircraft manufacturer, very good super tie. So it was designed and originally manufactured in Ukraine, and they're over to the US now. But it's a lovely little airplane, comes with a ton of different liveries, you know, don't mind that at all on your screen, but it's a beautiful, beautiful little airplane, and this is our chariot for this evening. Chris Van Halen is here, good to see you. So we'll jump into the cockpit. We need to hop out and remove our before flight stuff, so we'll do that. It is a native 2024 aircraft. We can remove the chocks, the pitot cover, we're going to remove the prop cover and also the air intake. That's all looking lovely there now. Quick look around the sides of the aircraft. Everything else is clear. Checking on the leading edge of the wings. We have tie-down zones as well. Beautiful LED lights. We can manipulate the ailerons there. We can see the yoke moving on the inside. All is looking well. And we come towards the rear of the aircraft now, and we can go ahead and move our elevator tab. And we can go ahead and move the rudder as well. You'll notice that we do have trim tabs. So there's our elevator trim. I'm not sure do the ailerons have it. And then the rudder...
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Thank you, Muttley. The rudder trim would be fixated onto, I think it's this guy here. There's usually like a trim tab, which is either... Jesus, where is it actually on this machine? Interesting. But you would have a trim tab rather than like a trim kind of surface. Do you know what I mean? Kanzui, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. So, this is what we're looking at here. We'll reposition our controls. Thank you very much. And as I said, you can go with the steam gauge overhaul, or we can go with the modern Garmin setup. We also have the choice of using the GTNs, the 750, 650. They all work as well. It will be on the actual rudder. Yeah, I didn't see it there. So time. So we're using live weather at the moment. Time of day is 12:33 local. 12:33. We're going to attempt this to see how we go. Weather is looking interesting. It is windy, and there's a bit of jazz here as well. While we're waiting, friends, we'll go and fire up some say intentions. That's going to be giving us some advisories along the way as we listen in to some ATIS information, but also for our group flight as well. All right. So let me see. We're going to pop you over here. We're going to listen to. Well, we don't have any information, so we can look for the ramp and see, can we request some weather from that guy in a moment. While we're waiting, we need to put some power into this aircraft now. So we can see we have our starter key, we have parking brake is on, throttle is looking good, circuit breakers down here in the fuse box, and then we have all our various lanes for starting up this engine. So we can toggle our GTN from here. And what else do you want to do? Headset, that's your headset, headphone simulation, effectively, right? So our starter power, we don't need that just yet. We will turn on the start switch and we'll continue on here. We're going to get some avionics turned on. Nav light, and what else do you want? Wig wag, fuel pump. Get these guys coming up. Easy now. We need to open up our fuel shut-off valves. Right is open. Left is open. And there's a battery shut-off switch just down here, which is working as per the real aircraft. This is pretty cool. Avionics and all the jazz. We also have our little EFB, so we can go in and say, right, do we want aircraft chocks, wheel chocks, our aircraft covers, wheel chocks, additional tablet, our angle of attack indicator, gear accessories, and cabin doors. You can have the doors off if you like, but we'll leave them on for the moment. So avionics, that's all looking good to me. So we're going to go for a start in the machine here. Now, quick check on our fuel. We've got half quantity on both wings.
Test. Okay.
So we'll go in here to our fuel. This thing, it's quite fuel efficient. We'll call it 80%. And we'll load this into the aircraft straight away. Load immediately. And now we're going to go for a startup on this machine here. So lanes 1 and 2. And we'll engage the starter with our starter power. We shall say clear prop. And just like that, our little Rotax has fired into life. Gorgeous. So avionics is still on. Battery is okay. Backup battery we can probably leave on. Windshield air, strobe light, leave it alone for the moment. Everything here is looking good. Emergency power we don't need. Headphone simulation works. And we have our GTN 650. Let's go to messages. So we'll start putting in a flight plan. We should be able to get this from Navigraph, I think. Let's have a look. So let me see, if we open up our EFB once again, and we'll go down to here, and we're going to go to Navigraph charts. This is a way of just pushing everything from Navigraph into the sim. It might work. Malky, good to see you. Utterly shagged after lifting 2 carpets up 5 flight of stairs by yourself. What? Jesus. Mr. Pauly, good evening. Kuru is in the house. Welcome in. Can we fly a Boeing 737? Boeing lover, we're going to be flying the 737 on Thursday night.
Hello there.
NKT, thank you for the follow. So we're doing that on Thursday night, right? So let me see. Here is our flight plan. Load in. And I'm going to export. Load as active flight plan in the sim. It worked, all sorts of bumping and bejani then, but here's a full flight plan now, got into the sim, in which we can now use our autopilot unit to help us along. So with the aircraft currently doing what it needs to do, we'll go ahead and put on our taxi light, and I think we're good, lads, I think we're good. The wind is coming in here from, that neck of the woods. We'll have a quick jump here. We're onto the ramp. Ramp, very good day. Looking to get some weather information, please. Let's see what they say. You could say shag off.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Spec leave. Thank you very much indeed.
Ground to flight deck, winds 140 at 12, QNH 1016, surface alt 119 feet. Good afternoon.
Excellent choice. Fair play to him. That's the intentions. And what's awesome about it, I mean, you can have as much or as little as you want. It's so customizable. It's fantastic. Trouble Does Gaming, good to see you, buddy. And yeah, Spec, thank you very much indeed, buddy. 9 months, man. Cheers. P.S. Mirandai, hello there. Good evening, good evening. Right, okay, so I think we're looking good. RPM is low, but sure, our engines are low. We'll put headset stuff back on now in a while. Now, let's have a quick look once again at Navigraph. So where the winds are coming in from, 140. So let me see. Winds are coming in this direction. It's a crosswind takeoff. We're going to taxi here straight beside us, 02. We've grass as well. So out to the right and then we'll taxi up. Transponder. Stick it on. And we'll see what happens here. So off the brakes. Roll forward. Angle of attack is coming up. Tap the brakes. Brakes are working. And let's move on. Easy now. This is awesome. We've got tons of aircraft here, including the brilliant Airbus A-220 tail dragger. Brilliant machine. Oh, Jesus, then. You know, oh, yeah. Model matching is just... Oh, look at that lovely Bonanza, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Hang on a second. Model matching, would you go way out of that for a minute now and just calm yourself, right? Jesus. Right. Now, for us to taxi here, well, we can taxi this way. Take your time. So we need... Jays, we're going completely the wrong way. Be alright. We don't need the full runway. We'll do an intersection departure here, look. Be totally fine. Man, look at those clouds. There's definitely rain about, isn't there? Okay, so from our autopilot perspective, altitude select. We're going to go 1,000 feet. Don't need much more. I'm after disappearing me angle of attack. Oh, no, we didn't. Right, we're okay. We're still alive. Let's check some flaps. They're working. Lovely. Now, let me see. Landing lights coming on. Strobes coming on. I'm just going to taxi forward here a little bit. And until we meet the runway. I had you down correctly for once, did it? Many Airbuses showing up.
Approaching runway 2.
Runway 2 is what we want. So it's going to be a crosswind component here. We don't need all the runway. The as I said, the stall capability on this thing, amazing. Okay, Peter heater coming on. Get ourselves lined up here. Easy now, Jemima. So we want to fly runway heading after takeoff, so we're going to pop that in. Flight director, go ahead and bring that up. We're going to arm heading mode. We're going to arm VS. Steady climb 500 feet a minute. Alrighty. Is that supposed to be a helicopter? Jesus. Right. CGD for Bell, bro. I don't believe you. Alright, power coming in. There's our takeoff power. And before we even know it, we're going to be airborne. Easy now. Watch that crosswind. Yepsy daisy. Airborne. 40 knots. Watch the wind. Easy now. It's proper windy. Okay, we want to turn our heading just to face that wind, so we'll go autopilot on. We've armed everything, so we should be good. Vertical speed of 500 feet a minute. Nice. Speed around 90 knots. The model matching got worse over the last 3 weeks. So-called Jerry, yeah, 100%. Let me see. Infected Tam, yes indeed. We have, we do use the Toby eye tracker, which is this guy here. I don't use the eye tracking, I just use the head tracking. But it's the closest thing you'll get to VR without actually using VR. It's very good. Right, we're going to hang around to the left. 300 degrees. Keep an eye out to make sure we're not going for any terrain. And go ahead and lock that in. We continue to climb. Watch our engine power and all the jazz. Right, we're looking good, lads. So what we're going to do, if you're flying along with us, if you're on the Xbox or indeed PlayStation, press 1. PC Pilots, it's number 3. If you're using Skynet, it's number 3. Did I say 3 twice? I can't remember. If you're using Skynet, it's 3. And if you think Murph just can't count at all, you're not alone. Press number 4. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream Monday to Friday, 2000 Zulu time, right here. Oh yeah. All right. Yes, indeed, it is a little Rotax powering this machine. Cy Voltage, good to see you. Taz, welcome in. My Sheep is here. Good to see you. Kev Kira, welcome. Yeah, I can't count. It's grand. Can I ask, at this stage in the sim, why don't pilots show up in every aircraft? Big Al, it is more than likely chase plane causing that issue. Most likely. Kozaki, yes, of course. We'll fire up Joint FS. I didn't abandon it, I just didn't think anyone was using it. Do you know? Right, another left turn. Easy now. Speed, we're sitting on about 110 knots. We're on the Southeast Asian server. So we're just going to wait for Joint FS to fire up. Also from my video today, I might edit this wheel actually, lads, right? So where's this now? Go into our dashboard, because we can do all sorts of coolness with the wheel. Show Zulu time, and we'll do this every 15 seconds. So you'll see these tabs here changing around, yeah? You're getting your pilot's license and flying the dynamic WT-30. Oh, nice! Nice! I think there's a setting that hides the pilot model. It's usually in your weight and balance, but I think just as a racetrack, I think because chase plane, I've noticed on some add-ons, it's disabling the pilot avatar for whatever reason, you know. Quasar Core, thank you very much indeed. 45 months, man. Thank you very, very much. Cheers. Just wish there was a WT9 in the sim. Ooh. Where do I get the Bonanza or the Baron? Just Flight's website. Now, let me see. John FS, network connected. Hopefully. There she be now, Kazaki. Let us look at the session. Who's here? So we have Debo. We've a few. Kazaki, are you actually using Join FS? Two Dogs, good to see you. Noel Jaron, welcome in. Contrail Shop has it as well. I would recommend Just Flight. But that's just me. I mean, whatever store works for you. But Black Square, Just Flight published the aircraft for Black Square, if that makes sense, right? Right, quick checking our power here. We're going to go to our GPS mode. We're going to call it nav mode. GPS is now active, so we're going to be flying along with this. We're going to watch our speed here as well. As I said, we're going to keep things at around 1,000 feet. We shouldn't have any major terrain obstacles. You're on Join FS? Super. Okay, good stuff. So the Aeroprakt is a beautiful little plane, this, isn't it? Beautiful little machine. So as we're flying now, we can get rid of our landing and taxi light. Even though we are 1,000 feet, we'll just kind of keep her lit where it is. What else do we need? Fuel pumps. No, we need to keep them on. Fuel pressure doesn't like that. See that? Right, so the pumps stay on when flying. Right. So, right, let us start at the beginning because we have loads of stuff to talk about here, lads. Part 9 of our rise and fall of Napoleon. So, with the retreat from Moscow, that's where we finished off last week, where Napoleon had entered Russia, and, well, the Russians kept falling back, regrouping, falling back, and every time the Russians fell back, that forced the French to overstretch. That was their tactic, and it worked. So the French then had to retreat. So as the retreat was happening from Moscow, it began in 1812. It did not immediately feel like the end of empire. To Napoleon, it felt more like, let's withdraw to reset the board. A tactical move to fall back to supply bases, winter in, and, get ourselves prepped, organise, reorganise, and restart the machine in the coming spring. But Russia, well, wasn't a game board. It was a vast emptiness and a lethal climate that turned the Grand Army into a moving injury. The war was no longer decided by grand manoeuvres, but by things that do not negotiate: cold, hunger, and infection. Men died quietly in ditches and barns and couldn't hold the wind. While popular memory focuses, of course, on the cinematic images of snowstorms and Cossacks on horses, well, the reality was a total collapse of logistics and cohesion. Starving men stopped believing that rules would save them, and their bodies, weakened by malnutrition, turned minor ailments into fatal ones. The invisible killers were disease and lice. Recent biological evidence, and I must say a massive thank you to North Coast Mike for sending me on a link. I did a lot of reading and it was a fascinating study. Basically, the recent biological evidence that was from mass burials in Vilnius has uncovered DNA signatures of paratyphoid fever, loose-borne relapsing fever, epidemic typhus, and trench fever. These diseases turned marching men into collapsing men in an environment where biology became a combatant. Vilnius became a symbol of this catastrophe, a place where supply and shelter failed the flood of survivors, and the dead were left in heaps, identified only by uniform scraps and their teeth. Napoleon could rebuild armies, but the 1812 retreat destroyed something harder to replace: the myth of his invincibility. It showed the world that his genius could not command the elements, couldn't outmaneuver hunger or intimidate disease. He returned to Europe not as the author of its fortune, but as a man trying to hide the fact that his machine had started to break. So as the remnants of the Grand Army staggered back, the first reaction across Europe was disbelief. For a decade, the world had been trained to expect Napoleon to recover from any setback. But Russia was different. There was no victorious bulletin, only the truth leaking out through the shattered units and empty roads. Of the 600,000 men who marched east, well, only a fraction of them returned. Inside France, confusion resigned as the public realised entire units had vanished. Napoleon made the rational but symbolically devastating choice to leave his army and race back to Paris to secure his throne after the Maillé conspiracy. General Maillé had briefly convinced the Paris garrison that Napoleon...
I have, Ted. I've been drinking like a mad idiot.
Convinced the Paris garrison that Napoleon was dead, proving that the empire's authority was thinner than it looked. It functioned only because people believed the emperor was alive and in control. Meanwhile, Prussia saw its opening. Once a humiliated subordinate, its officers began to act independently, negotiating neutrality with the Russians, and Russia itself emerged from 1812 not just as an undefeated country or empire, but vindicated. Tsar Alexander holding a newfound moral authority, even Austria, Napoleon's ally by marriage, began to hedge its bets, and the spell was broken. The world now knew Napoleon could be beaten even without a decisive battle. By 1813, the resistance to Napoleon shifted from the strategic interests of kings to the passions of nations. Prussia, which had been quietly reforming its state and military for years, formally joined Russia in February 1813. A massive coalition formed. Russia provided manpower, Prussia provided organisation, Britain provided funding, and even Sweden jumped in for the strategic gain. Napoleon responded by raising a new army with astonishing speed, scraping hundreds of thousands of boys, even old men, from every corner of the empire. However, this was a blunt instrument. It was younger, less experienced than his previous armies, and though he won tactical victories at Lutzen and Botzen, the Allies remained intact and their morale held. In a moment that would haunt him, Napoleon agreed to an armistice, believing time favoured him to train his conscripts. In truth, the pause allowed his enemies to align their strategies and convinced Austria to finally defect. By the time war resumed, Napoleon was no longer a master architect, he was a gambler surrounded by nations that had finally learned how to fight him. Ooh. What's this now? Contrails shall pass as well. Yes, brilliant. So the autumn of 1813 saw the rise of a continental uprising focused solely on Napoleon's destruction. It was the Sixth Coalition. It adopted the Trachenberg Plan. They would avoid Napoleon himself and instead destroy his marshals and exhaust his army. Germany began to slip from his grasp and his allies hesitated as his troops deserted. The climax came at Leipzig and the Battle of the Nations. Over 500,000 soldiers converged in a slaughter that would not be matched until World War I. Napoleon fought with ferocity, but the mathematics of the coalition were unforgiving. The turning point was a political debt during the Battle of Saxon, Württemberg and Bavarian troops switched sides, turning their artillery against the French. Napoleon was forced to retreat towards France. The myth of instability was shattered. As one observer noted, the Colossus has feet of clay. For the first time since the Revolution, the war was no longer an export, it was coming home to French soil. Ooh. We're all still here now, we are. Right. By January 1814, foreign armies were marching on French soil. France itself was exhausted, its countryside hollowed out by years of conscription, and Napoleon had barely 200,000 troops to face some 600. Yet, even in his decline, his old magic returned. Refusing to be pinned down, he launched a brilliant series of strikes at Brienne, at Chambord, at Montmirail, Chateau Thierry, and also Vauchamp, smashing isolated artillery corps. His enemies were stunned, but brilliance could not replace numbers. Every Allied loss was easily replaced with but every French loss was permanent. Napoleon chose to maneuver in the field, but the Allies realised that Paris is the war. While Napoleon was chasing columns in the east, the coalition marched on the capital itself. Paris fell on March 31st, 1814. When Napoleon heard the news, he whispered, "This is impossible." At Fontainebleau, he gathered his marshals to plan a counterattack, but they refused. They were exhausted, and they told him plainly the army would not endure another Moscow. On April 11, 1814, Napoleon abdicated. After a tearful farewell to his guard, he was sent into exile on the island of Elba. Ooh. We'll pick that up in a little bit. So to recap, right, he has his mad, grand, plan to try and, get more soldiers. Kids, literally kids, old men, basically any males that were left, get them into the army. And that in itself was a huge achievement. He managed to muster some 200,000 reserves, considering he lost the bones of 500,000 on his escapades in Russia. But at this stage, it was pretty much the known powers of Europe all joined up. You had Britain, you had Prussia, Russia, even Sweden, and then finally Austria, and then we had like Poland and Germany, all forming up with one common goal. That was to take Napoleon out. And they knew now this had been a complete change of when Napoleon started off. There were now foreign troops fighting on French soil. Before this, France were involved in Italy, they were in North Africa, you know, they were in Germany, they were in Prussia, Holland, they were all over the place. There was none of this going on in France. The only troubles that the French had to deal with in a lot of memory was of their own. You know, the period of the terror, civil war, revolution. You know what I mean? Sounds like you got friends. Got friends are in the house. The creators of this majestic A-32 Vixen. It's a fox. She be president, she be Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. You're very welcome in, lads, and great work in this airplane. It's been a while since we flew it. We flew it on the news one night to showcase it, but man, it's just so nice. It's so pretty. So we're chugging along here at about 110. Power settings are okay. We could push it a little bit more, but I'm kind of happy with our cruise. We are fighting a little bit of wind, so I think we can go in here and put some wind information on this gadget. Inset window, let me see. Can we get... What's our map? We could do a map, because our map could show wind. There's our wind information there. 11 knots, look. 10 knots blowing on the side of us. Jesus. So let's have a look there. Map. CHT. That's our charts. Excellent. And if we do this now, we should be able to go to menu and select VF4. I wonder will it give us... I wonder is there an update for this? Can we pull in the new Navigraph charts? Interesting. Setup, Navigraph, version, SimBrief, SimLink. I wonder was the way we could do that, no? God friends are awesome. They really are. They really, really are. More options. All right. I don't think we can change the map. Flyby sounds incredible with all the prop planes. Isn't it gorgeous? Mind your ears. And that's brilliant, isn't it? Outer Space Guy! Welcome aboard. Cheers, buddy. 3 months, man. You're very kind. Brilliant. Brilliant. But yeah, this is a nice setup. It's a beautiful little airplane. And that video we watched, got friends working with the flight school over in the US. Wonderful story and just real nice. Our little storm vents open here, storm windows. And you get the audio change as well. Vulcan wind is showing 23 knots. It could be just the time of day. We're now at 1300 local. And I gotta say, lads, this is actually quite pretty. Live weather, looking over the ground at 1,000 feet, mind you. A couple of little hills here and there, right? Very nice. Is a Belgian pilot, welcome in. Welcome in, buddy. So we're flying between Abbeville and Lille. And then we're going to be rambling, we'll be into Belgium before we know it. Spacey, I don't think so. I don't think they're working on PlayStation yet, buddy. It'd be great if they were, though, wouldn't it? All right, let's have... Oh, look, I love the detail. Like, it's just incredible, isn't it? Now, this other gadget we were doing with Flo. Do you remember the old this gadget? Look, if you go to HUD, info text, inches of mercury, frame rate, don't need latitude or longitude, altitude above the ground. Yeah, we'll go with QNH and UTC, and then turn it on. Remember this stuff up here in the top of the screen? It's like the old FSX gadget. We can use that there. if you wanted it. And if you always wanted air, pop it into a ghost menu. Do you know? Yeah, Lear, it was good, man. It was good. I'm busy now the next couple of days, so like this week is a busy week for me. And then I'm doing a lot of driving on Friday. I have to go up to Dublin Airport and back. On Saturday, I have to go back up to Dublin Airport, and then I'm in Dublin. I'm home on Sunday, at whatever time. I'll be back early because the young fella. And next week, then what have I to do? I've a bit of stuff to do next week. It's all good though. Can you make the text of the HUD larger? Yeah, there is a way to do it, Scott, but not by default. I think you need to go in and edit it using JavaScript or something. In Lille, you can find very good Belgian fries with andalouse and sauce. Ooh, that sounds lovely. Spacey says, my PC is really bad, but I still got it. I could probably only play with a controller. That's okay, buddy. Spacey, I mean, if your PC is shocking bad, if you have decent internet, you could use cloud gaming. It's an option, you know what I mean? But yeah. This wind is pushing us right into an obstacle. We need to be shocking careful here. Look. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring heading mode back into it. And we're going to go heading. And turn us away from that incoming obstacle. Mad, isn't it? Concorde, good to see you. We're flying at the moment in France. We're nearly at Lille. And we're going to be heading over then into Belgium. So far, so good, right? So far, so good. That's mad. Hang on, did Rumpelzuck get stuck? He did! Rumpelzuck is stuck! He hit the shagging thing, look! Ah, Jesus. Poor old devil. Time of day? 13:05, Muse. 13:05. Can we call you JD? Yes, JD. We can call you JD. Of course. Day is going great, buddy. How's yours? How was yours? Vulcan just missed it? Yikes. It's grand. All is well. Once we pass the obstacle, we'll go back on course. We're now looking good. Let's look ahead of us. Looking good. And we'll go back onto nav mode. Small roll to the left. Captain Gaiman is off below us. The RTB. Looks like he's in a diamond. We got some nice road traffic as well. I'm using the Pyreeg road vehicle models. Jeez, I can't really see from here. It does make a difference. It makes a nice difference in the on your road traffic. Ah, what a nice little plane this is. You just hand flew when I saw Rumpel heading towards it. Uh-oh. Do we know if the hills on the right? Do we know what the hills are on the right? These guys. I don't actually know. Like, I'm unsure is that accurate. Maybe it is. Let's see. Hello, Nevergraph. I mean, there definitely is something there. Let's change our charts here to some VF4. Doesn't really show us, does it? There is elevation, definitely. Yeah, there is. Look, 2.8. 2. There's a little bit. Interesting. Old slag heaps. Leo's fairly industrial. Maybe. Noah, sure thing. That's our machine. As we're flying along, enjoying the views as we're heading out to... we're still in France, and then we're going to be heading over to Belgium, which looks terribly, terribly nice. Man, that's pretty cool looking, isn't it? Colonel Fork is here. Good evening from my corner of Michigan, where the wind chill currently makes it feel like minus 30. Ooh. Ouch. Ouch. You stay warm, Colonel Fork. Solid Mocha, good to see you. Head down to Spa-Francorchamps. Oh, it is. Look, it's look at that. It's from... They're like quarries or something, or... That's nuts. Enbray, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. That's mad, lads, isn't it? Crazy. Madness, absolute madness. Bit of weather starting to close in here as well. Need to keep an eye on it. We are about 12 miles out, lads, from our first stop. Not going too bad, not going too bad. Family building local mountains for the city. Aren't they 100%, aren't they? Fog, yeah, we got some fog. It's kind of mad, isn't it? Weird hills. It's mad looking. Can't see any multiplayer. I've checked the settings over and over. Exclamation point multiplayer, that'll give you an idea. You're doing a flight from New Zealand to Melbourne. Nice. There's a reason why I have 9 blankets on. Jeez. I just saw your pilot model dive out of the plane. He knew what was coming. Follow me, he said. JD, you take it easy, buddy. Have a great day. Isn't it gas, like? There's no real scenery here in terms of it's very flat land. It looks gorgeous. Our little cross-country flight in the Aeroprakt A-32 by Got Friends. So they're called slag heaps. Nice. Good to know, Eamon. Tunage on a Monday. Runways that we can go here for LFQQ, right? LFQQ. Let's see, can we grab... can we get some information about this? Airport, LFQQ. That doesn't want to work. Really? There we go. LFQL, no. So we want to look LFQQ, there should be. Let's look at the weather data. So, winds 150 at 5 knots. So we'll go for runway 19er. 5 knot wind, visibility, temperature 3, dew point 2. Sky conditions are clear. Alright. Don't look terribly clear to me, but sure, we'll go for it. So, runway... Runway 01. Which is a short runway, but we'd be grand. Keen Lafford, good to see you. Be Janie then is na mad altogether that they named a town in Belgium after an ABBA song. Right? Multiplayer in 2020 a lot better than 2024. The model matching is absolutely catastrophically bad. The good news is they're aware of it. Like, it's not like a, you know, oh, we didn't know. Trust me when I say they know. I need to do actually one of the days, we need to do a Join FS demonstration. I need to record it. We won't do it tonight though. We have to do it soon. So is the wake turbulence. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I just wouldn't use wake turbulence in multiplayer. They will, Colonel Fork. Roy is here, good to see you. Nice cloudage. I saw you flying in Lear, yes. Or Lille, rather. You should see the National Notre Dame big cathedral. Oh, nice. We're approaching it right now, but I don't think it's modelled, if that's supposed to be it, or maybe it's beyond. Oh, hang on, there's stuff over there, look. Oh, wait, hang on, do we have photogrammetry here, lads? I think we will. They will, or they are, big difference. They will. Look at the state of that. North Coast Mike, great shot there in the chopper. Oh, it's a 2D shape? Okay. I need to, that's what I mean. I need to do something with JoinFS to record a video. It's for science, if you know what I mean. Jeez, this is lovely with the fog, isn't it? Look at that. That's gorgeous. And challenging as well. We're 3 miles out. Now the runway should be dead ahead, which it is. We're going for the one on the right hand side. Autopilot off. And let's ramble down. Getting those weird sound pops. So that would imply that they will do something about it, but are actively doing anything. Probably. Hold on to that stick, right? Mr. GBHI, good to see you, buddy. You're welcome in. Glad you could join us. Easy now. And this looks absolutely class, isn't it? Trying a bit of head tracking here. Easy now. Right, so there's a runway. And as I said, we have phenomenal stall capability with this aircraft. Short takeoff and landing. So, easy now. Let's horse ourselves in here. Can't see that yet. There's a runway. What's your power setting? Easy now. Speed dropping down. Do you know, the wind actually favoured the other runway straight in, looking at that windsock. Right, we're doing a crosswind. No, can't be helped. Easy now, Jemima. And with that, there's a giant airliner trying to do something. Easy now. Easy now. An Airbus A-32, ladies and gentlemen. There's a touch.
Runway 1 remaining.
Wait a minute.
5,000 feet.
Easy now. Why didn't we get, oh man, it doesn't like the wind at all. Why didn't we get a landing rate? That's very strange. Flo having a moment, perhaps? I hate corporate stuff like that. I hear the rhetoric every day at work. I gotten hurt and they said they'd look into it and they never did squat. Not that dramatic with the sim, but I hate little tolerance for empty promises will work in it. Yeah, like, it's not to be dismissive of it. Put it this way, right? By now, you lads know just how stubborn I can be, right? And I've also shared the fact that the Microsoft Flight Sim team happen to be very, very passionate about flight simming. So between that, as I say, they are aware of the multiplayer thing, right?
1 runway 8
But
remaining.
like, I can't say, yeah, they're working on it now and it'll be fixed in 6 weeks, because like, they don't give us that information. You know what I mean? Yeah, I showed Muse. Yeah. The number doesn't go that low. Shag off. That was a lovely soft landing. But yeah, it's what do you reckon Napoleon would have flown, Murph? Oh, he'd have flown in the Latacoere. Definitely, you know. But as I say, like, if I can do something with JoinFS with model matching, I mean, ultimately that's what the sim needs. This mess the model has now, no, it doesn't work at all. Like, we're talking what? The model matching has been particularly bad since about 2022. Even before that. You know what I mean? It is getting better. Like, it is getting better. But model matching is not getting better. And whatever challenges they have, you can appreciate, yeah, there's challenges. I mean, they don't own every single aircraft, and if the information is not coming across, you get all that. But we should have the power to fix it. You know what I mean? And that's where JoinFS comes in, which is very handy. Like in JoinFS, for example, right? Just to show you, that's not JoinFS. Where's JoinFS? It crashed. Bloody hell! That's why I don't like using JoinFS. Let's have a look here again. JoinFS it was like it was abandoned. It's open as freeware now. But like when you see this, it's like, who actually sat down and said this is okay? Like that's where it gets, you know, it's like, really? Did they not test it? You know? But you know, the reality is this though, there's I won't say a list of demands, but there's other things that they were obviously been focusing on. And whilst there has been you know, enhancements made to the multiplayer experience, the model matching is, to me, that's a game-breaking bug, you know. So let's just have a gas here with JoinFS, right? So if we view the session, we got a couple of aircraft here, right? So what I'm going to do briefly, I'm going to turn off the in-sim multiplayer just to show you what JoinFS can do, because this is important. So with the sim multiplayer turned off, resume, and we should now be able to see other aircraft being injected by JoinFS. There's a happy kind of a Cessna over there, right? But don't worry the fact that it's jumping around. Now, who is that? If we go into our JoinFS, we can see the session and see who's in what. So, Microsoft Flight Sim, I don't even know who that is. So if we go into JoinFS menu, and then it crashes again. Bloody hell! Hang on, we need to sort this. Like, say intentions are moving the ball forward when it comes to this kind of a solution. They're using Skynet, and I gotta say it's working very well. Very well. And basically they're just polling the aircraft information using SimConnect, right? We just have to wait. Jordan is here, good to see you. That was Vulcan? Okay. We'll give JoinFS another minute here to fire up. Because what I want to show, it's a demonstration I want to show you. What you can actually do with JoinFS that we currently not do. Right, so here's JoinFS. Open the network. View aircraft. Okay, so who's coming up? So this appears to be Devilfly. So if that's Devilfly, I can right click, substitute Devilfly. This is going to crash again. Really? Yeah, I think JoinFS is completely shagged as well. Will Skynet only be available to say intention subscribers? No, they're going to release it to everyone, they said. That's their plan. Yeah, JoinFS is just not liking life here at the moment. There is an update available for it, that's probably why, but I'm not doing that now. It's completely frozen, so I can't even show you what I wanted to show you. But basically what we can do with JoinFS, we can substitute that aircraft for anything else that we have in our own local folder. You literally right click, substitute the model, and it will appear, you select the aircraft and its livery, and then it works. We need this solution as part of the base sim. We just do. We need the option to say, right, these are the people who are flying with us, what aircraft the sim has put them in, see the sub model. We should be able to interact with that and change it from a drop down based on the aircraft we have. And if it happens that they're in an aircraft we don't have, then it defaults to the in-sim library that, you know, Microsoft have hundreds of different models. Hundreds of them.
They've done studies,
you know?
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, so JoinFS just doesn't want to play nice. For whatever reason. Let's have a look. Join FS. Have to kill it. But you get the idea, right? That would mean flying in a private group. Yeah. Husker says, quite frankly, none of this should be necessary. I agree, but it is necessary, you know. It'd be different if you said, right, only, like, you would fix the problem if there was only one marketplace. There was no third-party marketplaces. There was literally the marketplace. If developers wanted to create add-ons, they have to go exclusive onto the marketplace. That means they need to have a low-poly model and all deliveries. But the marketplace has its issues. You know what I mean? So it's just not as simple. If they can stream rent most aircraft in the marketplace, they should just allow model matching from the database, even if you don't own it. The problem is they don't own what's on the marketplace. You know what I mean? Because it goes under the Microsoft umbrella if they're hosting it. That makes sense. It is what it is. It's frustrating. It's annoying. They'll get to it eventually, I'm sure. Oh, jeez, the takeoff roll here. Yep, see Daisy. As I say, like, with Skynet, say intentions are making great progress with that. But I still want to see something native, you know? Quokka, good to see you. The world map of 2024 is showing a big northern light activity. Ooh, nice. Alright, flaps in. Oh, the drop there, look, nice. What's the RPM? It's like everything. We you know, we'd have an easy solution, but it may not be workable. And we'd be saying, well, why not? That's the way the world is, right? There are challenges there. I'm confident they will fix it though, but like that sort of a menu system, if that could be created in the sim, you have a little drop down or you put it on flow, you can see who's I mean, there's a way we can do this already, right? We can see who's in a group flight. The information is there. Do you know? That was nearly the wrong kind of takeoff roll. Absolutely. Alright, we continue on, friends. We're going to be making a turn down here to the right. And we're saying 1,000 feet once again. So we're going to go nav mode, autopilot, engage. And let me see, altitude and vertical speed. Call it 1,000 feet. And that'll get us back up to 1,000. We're going to head down to our magenta line and continue on. I'm not, says Flyer10. What are you not? So if you had every aircraft in the sim, would that mean your model matching would match every aircraft? Funny enough, no. Because if you're using a different livery, and if developers aren't putting in the correct ICAO, well then the sim doesn't know what it is, right? Hasn't a clue. You know what I mean? Oh, confident that they'll fix it. Sorry, Flyer10. I think they will, or at least give us the tools that we can fix it ourselves. Do you know? Like, my biggest pet hate with, or pet hate rather, my biggest pet hate with the sim is just the multiplayer experience. It shows great promise, you know, and if you're in groups of 1 or 2, it's fine. You know, it doesn't really act up that bad. But in larger group flights, nah, it's not able for it, man. Like, there's ways to bypass all of this, of course. We can all jump onto VATSIM or you jump onto a different network, but like that defeats the purpose, you know? Model matching has always been shagged. I remember a 2024 release, it didn't even have livery options. Yeah. It was overlooked. Multiplayer was overlooked. Like, whatever they've done recently by shutting down servers, still don't know why they're shutting down servers. You know, maybe it doesn't need it, or they got to free up resources for PlayStation. Couldn't tell you. But it, like, lads, I don't know what to tell you. It's a pet hate. It's a pet hate for me as well. I'm like, you know, can we not just have like a better multiplayer experience? Truthfully, I think the only way they're going to get that is by adopting something like Join FS. whereby we can now select, right, these are the aircraft in my group, and I can change what the model looks like, you know? Captain Gaiman, no. Well, X-Plane you can use join FS as well, but it's worse, you know? Yeah, they decommissioned the US West, yeah. But they said multiplayer was a feature of 2024. Should have worked on it. Well, technically they did. They added all these models. They added tons of different aircraft models. So they've done something towards it. But then it's like everything, right? Look at the entire user base of this platform and then, well, where are the larger multiplayer flights? Where are they in the pecking order? You know, I mean, there's a couple of hundred of us here tonight on a live stream. There's maybe 20% flying, 10 or 20% flying. I mean, when you represent that against the active user base, you know. So the attempt is the loudest person shouting in the room. I mean, that's kind of where I come in. Or at least that's what I try to do. Like, the biggest issue we had in 2020 was aircraft were just disappearing. They would just vanish. That is no longer the case, at least to the same amount of frequency it was doing it. It's been a while since aircraft just suddenly disappeared and you were on your own. It's a while since that happened. So we are seeing progress. We just are. Like, you can't say no. It's still, like, it is getting better, you know? Everyone fly the Aeroprakt solution? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. TJ Turner, good to see you. What's the flight plan? Exclamation point route. We'll give you the route. Aircraft still disappear, but the pilot remains. Yeah, but like, aircraft disappearing, like, I haven't seen it as much at all. The sim will only visibly show you about 20 odd aircraft. I think it's 23. The Garmin G5 looks nice. It's part of the aircraft. It's the Asobo G5, I think. Colonel Fork says, I want transparency from them, not empty words, not excuses. Until they make it a real priority and show real openness to solutions, I've little confidence that they even care about fixing it. I don't know, man. I can't answer for them. I want it as much as you do, don't get me wrong, but like, what can you do? CT is here. No, I don't think it's a case of bashing it. I mean, look, lads, the reality is this, right? And it's not to be all negative Nelly. The reality is this. Microsoft and Asobo have created a flight sim platform that we have all become so very passionate about. We love it. There's no point saying we don't. We love it. We're now more passionate about it because, you know, we probably use this sim more than any other sim or a game or whatever, right? So we're very passionate about this. So when you see issues and bugs and stuff which frustrate us, or they break our immersion, or they break your gameplay, whatever it is, it drives you friggin' bananas, and you want to see things fixed. I mean, I get that. That's what this is. You know, we don't need to run off and grab our pitchforks and say, oh, you just need to do it this way. You need, like, that doesn't solve anything, you know? What solves it is, well, can we be productive about it? You know, can we give options and say, hey, look, join FS. Here is a solution. I'm not saying it's the only one, but here's a solution. Enable users to select other aircraft or change the model of the aircraft based on what they already own. And if they don't own everything, then, you know, give them the power to select from the vast models that Microsoft have. And they have vast. They've hundreds of them, lads. Go into your menu, you'll see it. Or go into the sim. You'll see all these passive aircraft. There's hundreds of them. Hundreds, right? So what's wrong is either the livery, it's either information from a third-party developer, it's either the server being able to interpret that information, or it's the core sim not figuring out what to do. That's it in a nutshell, right? So we say, okay, well, is there a solution there that we can bypass the sim, bypass the third-party developer? Yes, there is. What's that solution? Let us choose. We manually change it. Wash. Then you're done. Now, Do you really want to be sitting there all day saying, okay, I have to start up my flight and here's 20 aircraft and now I need to manually change them? That's going to be a pain in the ass. So we need to kind of think beyond that. You know what I mean? The Irish invented optimism. There is a program for doing that, at least there was. I don't think it's working too well now, does it? But yeah. In truth, I play Microsoft Flight Sim to be on my own, in my own little world. Multiplayer is a nice thing to have, but I doubt I'll ever be a part of it. Again, you go, I mean, that's where the community is, right? The vast majority of users on the platform aren't into this. They don't do these multiplayer group flights. You know, they're more into single pilot operation or flying airliners. You know what I mean? But they are aware of it. And trust me when I say, like, I'm as stubborn as they get, do you know? We just have to wait and see. But as I say, it is getting better. But like, when you have this kind of weirdness now with model matching, depending on whatever aircraft the lads have chosen, it doesn't look too bad now. Maybe they're listening. But when you have, like, you know, tail dragging A320s or 747s as helicopters, it's like, hang on, really? Do you know? But yeah, be interesting. Miltech have a dev stream. Ooh, nice. Yeah, Mac, I mean, look, we're a small part of it. We're not insignificant. We're just a smaller part of it. You know? I see him shown as an arrow on your screen, which is correct. There you go. But you're in an arrow 4, not an arrow 3. That's terrible, Muse. It's broken. I think the multiplayer where there is shared cockpit. Yeah. That's what they want to do. They, like, again, they want to add shared cockpit in. Whatever solution they have at the moment, it's just one of those things. It's not fit for it. You know what I mean? There's no refunds. Think about it, lads. The move from 2020 to 24, the data became so big, their idea was, we'll push everything onto the cloud and then live stream the game. I mean, that was the idea, right? Because the engine wasn't capable of running it. Multiplayer has found the same restrictions, so something will have to come in, you know? Muse now has an engine, but for me, you're now a heli. Yeah. Well, again, like, if I put it this way, right? I could turn model matching onto high fidelity and it will do a better job, but it's going to tank on my performance. And I'm running a 5090 with a 9800 X3D chip. Like, that's high-end gear and it'll bring it to its knees. So it's not optimized at all. By using this kind of standard, at least we can see folks flying, right? But yeah, shared cockpit would be class. Because like I says, the group flights kept me alive after your stroke. Jesus. I love the group flights, man. I mean, the whole point of this, here we are, a community. We're literally all over the planet. We're all over the world. We're all here together, exploring, seeing things together in real time. And it is such a stunning simulator. I mean, it's beautiful. It's stunning. And, you know, it allows us to do this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, yes, model matching is a pain in the ass, but we want it done. All we can do is wait. That's all we can do. But they are aware of it. That's the main thing. Like, it's not a case of, what? Oh, we'll have to run tests. No, they know. They know the crack. They know it needs fixes. They know where things are. They know this, you know. But it's like, okay, what needs to be delivered? What are they working on next? I mean, people are now starting talking about putting features into the sim because it's relatively stable. Now, if they were to ask, okay, well, how's the multiplayer? Not very stable. But then, okay, well, let's say you have 100,000 users. Yeah, well, about 90,000 of them are saying, let's progress with features. 10,000 are saying we need multiplayer. Like, that's where we're at, you know? They know, 100%. Captain Kenobi, good to see you, bud. They could add not only shared cockpit, but fill all the seats and maybe allow to parachute. Could you imagine if they did? But yeah, like, in years to come, that's the progression here, right? God friends, I know the last dev stream Jorg mentioned that they were heavily investing in shared cockpit, so I believe they will get there. I believe there will be big multiplayer update and servers will get more stable along with it. Can't really share a cockpit if you can't share model matching. No, I agree. It'll happen. It's just... As I said, as mad as it is, it's still better than what it was back on 2020. Because planes just disappeared. Do you know? It's hard to believe it's a simulation. Back when I flew the old ones 20 years ago, never thought we would get to this level. It's mad, isn't it? Aeronautic Art, good to see you. It's great. I have a mouse issue where the pointer has to be 2 inches from the switch or button I want to press. I cannot be over it. If you turn off a setting... Oh, what is it? There's a setting for that. I think it's to do with like bloom or camera flare or something like that. Louise, good to see you. Mr. GPHI says, I love the sim for the group flight and on air. If I find myself getting frustrated with something, I just remind myself that I came from an Atari, right? Compared to them, this sim can be working 30% and still be 100 times better. Yeah, 100%. How many people can be on each server? Hundreds, thousands. But the sim will only show about 23 aircraft. As in, it'll only render about 23 aircraft, and it was done so to stay within the laws of RAM or VRAM or something, I don't know. Because I remember when I said that to Seb, I spoke to Seb in person to say, hey, what's the crack with this? And he was, huh? That shouldn't be the case. And then, oh yeah, no, it is. Right? 22 or 23. Yeah. CP says, fixing multiplayer is a must. Shared cockpit is a nice to have. But again, it comes down to opinion, right? You would love that. I would love that. But you probably have countless thousands who'd be like, multiplayer? No, I want shared cockpit. It's... What do we do? You know what I mean? Was that in Las Vegas? No, that was in Arizona. I love the Atari Mega. Yeah. MIDI ports. It's mad. Like, I mean, if we were to, I did a video on this as well. You know, things I'd love to see in 2026, or you know, the sim needs this in 2026. Reading down through the comments, without question, the most popular multiplayer, fixed multiplayer. So you know, they know this. I'm online while watching this at 36,000 feet. Nice. But like, as I said, like, you know, I don't want people thinking, Jesus, we're being negative, and that is not the case at all. I think, you know, over the last, 6 years of having this franchise, having Microsoft Flight Sim, we've all just become so passionate about it because, I mean, this is what we do. Do you know? This is our escape from reality, or this is where we just want to learn something or hang out or whatever. So we've become passionate about it. And, you know, it's good to be passionate about something. Look at the cool church. You'll probably get more people requesting trains or double jetways than you would in multiplayer. Like, it's just where it's at, you know? Crafty Tiger says, the sim has come so very far to have Boeing using it as part of their pilot training. Yeah, 100%. That's just one layer of multiplayer as well. If you knew the hell developers face getting ailerons and such to animate, oh yeah, 100%. Napoleon wouldn't have minded, not at all. The weirdest thing with the model matching, you and the missus can get into the exact same plane with the same delivery load to do a flight together. Both of us show up in something totally different. Yeah. It's just where it's at. As an airliner flyer, primarily, I would love double jetways, right? But yeah, it will happen. But yeah, when you say that, people are like, right, okay, I'm not believing that for a second. Until it actually happens, lads, I don't believe it. Which I totally get, right? Voyager says, I wish people keep loving X-Plane. I don't trust Microsoft having the monopoly in the flight sim market. Well, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily about the monopoly. If people don't like it, they're not going to use it. That's just fact, right? X-Plane is doing some great things. Is this better than War Thunder? Gotten, it depends what you want to do. This is like a civilian flight simulator, so there's no combat element. It's super realistic. There's a lot of phenomenal third-party add-ons. Phenomenal. And you can really, really delve into, you know, realistic procedures, system procedures, and so on. Google just needs to properly invest in the flight sim, right? X-Plane will never pull in sales like Microsoft. No. No, it just won't. X-Plane is, it's marketed slightly different. But lads, even P3D didn't have the numbers of flight sim. The entire flight simulation genre exploded with Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. The thing exploded. And now they've made the sim even more accessible. It's on Xbox and PlayStation. Cloud gaming. Right? It's mad. Commander Ballard says, before joining the community here in 2023, I almost exclusively flew GA, usually by myself. Since getting involved here, I've moved into multiplayer group flights, and now because of the VATSIM Thursdays and Say Intentions, I've started flying airliners and biz jets much more frequently on long-haul routes. Nice, buddy, nice. Yeah. I've missed recent news. What's the word for virtual reality for PS5? Soon. Yes, indeed. It's the entire world gotten. Like, it's a one-to-one replication of planet Earth, which is absolutely insane. It's amazing, lads. And I guarantee you, once they fix multiplayer, we'll have something else to moan and whinge about. It'll be grand. We'll find something. The tyres don't move the right way. Bring back beards. Right. Trains. I want trains. What do you mean the birds don't fly? I want flying birds. It's because we're passionate about it. Just, like, it is what it is, right? We should be discussing tools. Don't you start, Mr. GPHI. I started with X-Plane because I had it was Mac compatible. Then you follow some simmers and you finally caved in and got 20. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I want our dogs back in the sim. Where are we going to land? Just up the road here. Literally just here, but I'm trying to figure out best runway on the wind. I think we're going to go to the right a bit. So the Irish invented moaning and whinging. Of course we did, you know. DCS is nuts. DCS is nuts. But again, like DCS isn't without its issues either, right? X-Plane isn't without its issues. Microsoft Flight Sim is, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite sim. It ticks so many boxes when it comes to what I want out of a flight simulator. I use other platforms. I use other sims, but this is by far my favorite. Will it ever be perfect? I don't think any flight sim will ever be perfect. By their nature, they're just not going to be perfect. You know? I showed my daughter's mate Saturday their school on there. They asked if could you crash into it so they wouldn't go back to school. What's your opinion on Wing products? Wind control. Yeah, they're very good. If you're going specifically for an aircraft type, they're excellent. Mo's, on the other hand, if you're more generic, especially with force feedback, they're excellent as well. Easy now. Who are you calling a tool? Right, let's try the wind on this one. But it's gas. At the end of the day, right? It is the... And I'm genuinely mean this. It's the community that make... Not just this channel or our community or Discord or social network or any of that jazz. It is the community that kind of drives forward the sim. I mean, there was clearly a demand in the world to have next generation high fidelity graphics in a flight simulator. Historically, they never had that.
Runway
easy.
5 remaining.
There's a touchdown.
4,200
Oh, the
feet.
wind. Right, we're down. So Jesus, just as well we're in Tundra tires. Huh? Like, we very much kind of steer the demand of you know, what's possible with flight sims. You can see it. Demand for new types of hardware,
Approaching
demand for
runway
aircraft.
5, right.
It's nuts. And even if you step back of it, regardless of what way it was executed or was set up, the reality is this: if you were to have everything that we have saved locally, 2 or 3 terabytes of data, and they managed to change that to having maybe 50 gigs local and they just stream you the rest, that's like, that is very impressive. In reality, maybe it wasn't everyone's cup of tea, didn't work as expected for everyone, I get that. But that's kind of the territory you're in, that bleeding edge of kind of tech. And then you scratch your head and look at other gaming studios and say, well, hang on, you know, they don't have these issues. It's weird. Think tomorrow might wind control throttle day. Ooh,
Approaching
nice.
runway 5, right.
Easy now. It is a modern day miracle in its own regard. It 100% is. Like, that to me is just the funniest setup. I mean, that's model matching at its finest.
On runway
But,
5,
I mean, look,
remaining.
they've cool things added. You have, like,
4,100
usernames on the aircraft.
feet.
Like, that was a new feature, right? You can see who's actually flying here, and they put them on the generic models as well. So there's some pretty cool things happening. We just need better model matching. I can get rid of the Boeings, right? But it kills performance. It's fine in a group flight of 2 or 3. So it's just the model matching rules. And think about it. If they were to fix the model matching rules, or give us the tools in which we can fix it, well, that's kind of, we're done then. Kinda, aren't we? You know. So fingers crossed. Right. This is our last stop in France as we head next to Belgium. I don't think we need flaps to take off. It's windy as the devil, so let's see what happens. Which software are you using for the runway announcements? That's actually built into Say Intentions, Toto. The airliner looks like a dog with... Yeah, it does. It does. The old reliable, brilliant, you know. Right, let's get airborne, because this is getting weird. Capital Airlines and Boeing 737. Yeah, good Jesus. Right, yep, you divil you. Who said model match was broken? That's accurate. They're tail dragger Boeing aircraft, you know. Just finished a route in a Citation X. Ooh, nice. Man alive, the wind. Easy now. Okay, our next stop literally just up the road. About 20 miles or so. Autopilot. We want V-speed on this again, please. We can probably go IAS mode either. But we'll climb back up to 1,000 feet. Port Perch, we're heading now from Lima Foxtrot, Quebec, Juliet, over to Echo Bravo, Charlie, India. Aeroed says, how do you turn off collision settings so when in multiplayer? Go into settings, I think it's under assistance settings, and you can turn them off in there. Ignore, is it ignore crash damage, I think it's called? Yeah, I think it's called that. You can't crash into other aircraft. It'll either, you know, fizzle you out, or, you know, you just go through them. Jesus, I mean, if they had that, forget it. Forget it, this just wouldn't work. If there was mid-air collision, you know, an option in multiplayer, this just wouldn't work. We'd get nothing done. There'd be nowhere to go, nothing to see. And I don't care how fun you think it might be, it just wouldn't work. Right, we'll do another head count here now, because there's still a good few of us flying. So, Xbox pilots or PlayStation, press 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. If you're using Skynet or JoinFS, it's number 3. And for everyone else here in the parish there now, hey, it's number 4. Look at all the numbers. Jeez. GPHI, you're upside down. Out of interest, right? What is Gaseous Maximus? Is it Gaseous Maximus? So anyone who's showing up as a big, massive Boeing or whatever, what are you actually flying in? I'd put the house in it, you're in the Eurofighter. You know, I imagine you're in the Eurofighter. 30 on the PC, 2 on console, 3 using Skynet, 200 people in the two-tone parish, plus a Murph. Thank you, Keen. Right, Gafir's handy now. There's a big aerial antenna? Now, I reckon we're going to pass this. I reckon we're okay. You're in the Draco. The Draco is showing up as a 737. Got friends! Sort out that, will you? Jesus, I mean, come on. What? What are you talking about? Brilliant. Right, we should be clear of that obstacle. Let's hope. So, where did I leave you? Oh yeah, over here. So his marshals refused for this counterattack, so Napoleon abdicated. After a tearful farewell to his old guard, he was sent into exile over on the island of Elba. Europe believed the nightmare was over, but peace built on exhaustion, well, it's quite fragile. Napoleon was given Elba as a gilded cage, where he governed the small island as if it were France in miniature form. But he couldn't stop. Action defined him. As he watched from afar, the restored Bourbon King Louis XVIII began undoing the progress of the revolution. He was sidelining merit-based officers and restoring old aristocratic privileges. France began to sulk, and the victors at the Congress of Vienna began to argue over the spoils of war. Sensing the timing was right and fearing for his own safety and finances, Napoleon made the greatest gamble in history. On the 26th of February 1815, he boarded L'Inconstant with 1,050 men. He landed in France. The army didn't arrest him, it melted back into him. At Namur, he famously bared his chest to the troops ordered to kill him, and no one fired. The relationship between the emperor and his people had been preserved, not broken, by exile. The return of Napoleon Bonaparte was a feat so swift and bloodless it felt like a hallucination to the rest of Europe. In just 20 days, he marched from the beaches of southern France back to the Tuileries Palace in Paris without firing a single shot, as the very garrison sent to arrest him defected to his side. But as he stepped back onto his throne, Napoleon was under no illusion. He was a man racing against time. The France Napoleon inherited in 1815 was not the powerhouse of 1805. It was a nation exhausted, with a hollow treasury and diminished population. The magic of conjuring massive armies from raw enthusiasm had faded. In a desperate bid for survival, Napoleon offered a sincere peace to the European courts, promising to respect borders and end dynastic expansion. Europe, however, had learned its lesson. At the Congress of Vienna, the powers did not negotiate. They declared Napoleon an outlaw and a criminal, disturbing the peace of mankind. They reached a terrifying unanimity: the emperor must be destroyed. The math was impossible. The Allies could eventually field 800,000 to 1 million men, while Napoleon could barely muster 150,000. His only path was a preemptive strike to hit the coalition fast and hard before they could fully assemble. His target? Belgium, where the British and Prussian armies were positioned but not yet fully coordinated. If he could smash them separately, he might force a negotiation. On June the 16th, it seemed his old speed had returned. He defeated the Prussians under Blücher at Ligny. his final victory, while the British under Wellington fought an indecisive action at the Waterloo. However, Napoleon made a critical error by failing to pursue the beaten Prussian decisively, allowing them to retreat, wounded but intact, toward Wellington. On Sunday, June the 18th, 1815, the two greatest commanders of the age, Napoleon and Wellington, finally faced one another. The setting was a field of Waterloo, specifically the ridge at Mont Saint-Jean, or Mount St. Jean, where Wellington chose to wait. Geography and climate dictated the opening moves. Rain had lashed the fields overnight, turning the ground into a thick mud that paralysed movement. Napoleon, usually a master of rapid artillery deployment, made the fateful decision to delay his attack until late morning to allow the ground to dry so he could move in his guns. This delay gave the Prussians precious hours to close in the distance. Now, we're not landing here. This is a flyover. We're landing at the next one. Echo Bravo Bravo Zulu. So we'll stay going, lads. Wellington's tactic was one of passive endurance. He hid his army behind the reverse slope of the ridge to shield them from direct fire, forcing Napoleon to throw his forces against a defensive wall. The battlefield became a literal slaughterhouse as the French launched. Massive infantry assaults intended to break the centre, relentless artillery fire that struggled against the muddy terrain, massive cavalry charges that crested the ridge only to find the British formed into unbreakable defensive squares. Napoleon's genius appeared to be failing him. His attacks were piecemeal and unsynchronised, lacking his trademark decisive concentration of force. By late afternoon, the tide turned. The sound of Prussian guns began to roll across the French right flank. Blucher had arrived. Caught between Wellington's stubborn defence and the Prussian advance, Napoleon played his final card, that of the Imperial Guard. These were the undefeated, the legendary veterans of the Empire. They advanced uphill through a storm of fire, but for the first time in their storied history, the Guard broke. As they retreated, the French line dissolved into a panic of flight and despair. Wellington ordered a general advance, and by nightfall the battle was over. Nearly 50,000 men lay dead or wounded on the field. Napoleon, realising the end had come, whispered to an aide, "The affair is over. We have lost the day." Napoleon fled to Paris, but there was no more miracles to be found. The nation was exhausted and demanded his abdication, which he signed for the second time on June 22nd, 1815. This time, there was no drama, only the quiet acknowledgement that the era was over. He had hoped to escape to America, but the British blocked every single port. Napoleon had reshaped Europe, spreading ideas of law, merit and nationalism, but he paid for it in the blood of millions. On July the 15th, he surrendered to the HMS Bellerophon, seeking protection under English law. Instead of execution, well, the British chose a more psychological punishment. They would effectively erase him from history. They sent him to St. Helena, a lonely volcanic rock in the middle of the South Atlantic, thousands of miles from the world he had once ruled. Yes! Right, we're going to be landing just here. Up you divil ya. So, next week... Autopilot off. There's the airfield. We'll swing around. Next week, we will visit Mount Helena, and we're going to be flying in an airship. Ooh. Same island that just got an airport in 2016. Yeah. So it's an airship flight. I've never flown in the airship.
Can I get a refund?
In the sim. Ginja Ninja, welcome in. Thank you very much. It's quite mad. So the Battle of Waterloo, with Wellington, and it was Wellington who said, Napoleon, the strength and genius of Napoleon was worth about 40,000 troops on the field. That was a remarkable compliment to pay. Napoleon was a genius, you know, military and politically. But the Battle of Waterloo, between the Prussians joining up, the British digging in, bad weather, and just that lack of decisiveness, and then purely the numbers, almost a million men versus, you know, 150,000. It wasn't going to happen. And it was at the Battle of Waterloo that all of this came crashing down for Napoleon. The day is lost. Mad, isn't it? Right, we circle around here. This is our second last stop of the night. From here, lads, we're going to ramble up over Brussels. Oh, you did that all wrong. Will we make it? Ara, we'll see. Let's turn in. Watch our speed. That means you're going to be full of hot air. I will. Alright, in over the roads. Let's ramble in. So from here, we're going to ramble up to the battlefield itself. And we're going to fly over around the battlefield, just get an idea of the lay of the land. And of course, the Lion's Mound, which we're going to learn about as well. Fascinating story, though. And it came down to, you know, a fully fledged battle. And Napoleon lived. You know, he wasn't captured or killed. He fled back to Paris, and then, well, the British eventually got him. They arrested him. As he tried to escape, they caught him on a boat. He's now. Runway 33. Let's see if we can park this. Easy now. There's a defender.
Runway 33 remaining.
All right.
1,500 feet.
Flaps in. Isn't it ironic that Napoleon met his Waterloo at Waterloo, right? It's like landing in Burr. It is, Muse. One of Wellington's aides at Waterloo fought against the British at Trafalgar. What? Really? Has anyone seen the movie Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix, Ridley Scott? I did. The editing, I think it's a good movie, but I think the editing was shocking. Does that make sense? The lovely scent of Belgian fries. Lovely Belgian fries. Alright, we're doing well, lads. So we're now going to fly to... we're literally going to fly to the Waterloo Battlefield. How are we fixed on fuel? Loads of fuel. Alright, get ourselves turned around. The weather is holding, we're lucky. We're going to try and take off up a hill because, well, we can do that. Up the hill. We've a notch of flaps set. We should be able to rotate just over 30-ish knots. Let's have a look. Yepsy daisy. Man, the performance of this thing, it's friggin' nuts. $37 knots. No bother in the world to it. Hey, Warhamster, good to see you. This is where Abba came from? Yep. The very place. Alright, ease back the power. Autopilot on once again. We'll go IAS mode this time. Time is back to 1,000. Easy now. Now we're on GPS mode. Intercept the magenta line and then carry on. QC Frank says, Murph, at my workplace, our officers' mess is decorated as a celebration of Napoleon's defeat. No way. A fascinating character for sure. Do you know, we can actually see it from here. There's the Lion's Mound in the distance. So this is where we're heading, lads. This, where we're going now, is the battlefield of Waterloo. So what we want to do, once we arrive up this neck of the woods, we're going to pull the power back and just kind of circle around just to give ourselves an idea. Do you know? So the Lion's Mound that we're going to fly over, just so we know about it, right? Effectively, it was like a plaque. Effectively, it's a large artificial hill. King William I of the Netherlands ordered its construction in 1820. It was completed in 1826. It commemorates the spot where, at the Battle of Waterloo, where the King's eldest son, Prince William of Orange, is presumed to have been wounded on June 18, 1815, as well as the Battle of Quatre Bras, in which he fought 2 days earlier. The hill offers a vista of the battlefield, and its anchor point is the Associated Museum and taverns in the surrounding Lyons Hamlet. Visitors who pay a fee may climb up the mound's 226 steps, which lead to the statue and its surrounding overlook, where there are maps documenting the battle, along with the observation telescope. The same fee also grants admission into the Waterloo panorama. So, the Lion's Mound, it was designed by the royal architect Charles van der Straeten at the behest of King William I of the Netherlands, who wished to commemorate the location on the battlefield of Waterloo, where a musket ball hit the shoulder of his eldest son, King William II, Prince of Orange. So, as we'll overfly this, that wasn't there during the Battle of Waterloo, but it's today used as a museum and, of course, to commemorate the battle and all the jazz, right? So that's what we're going to be checking out. So we're now approaching the battlefield. So we're going to bring our power back. Try and get some external camera here. There we go. Slow down your camera, Murph. And we'll be using, we can use the heading indicator just to kind of float around here. But this, friends, this is Waterloo. I mean, can you picture it? Almost 1 million soldiers. Absolutely insane, isn't it? These battlefields scarred by, cavalry, artillery. Isn't it something else? Like, it's mad. Absolutely mad. As Malky says, to put this into perspective, Napoleon's army was only marginally smaller than the number of troops that landed on D-Day. So, like, it wasn't that he had a small force at all. Just the enemy was, well, to him, the enemy was massive. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It's modelled here with photogrammetry, and it actually looks very well here in the sim. It's beautiful here, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. Beautiful, beautiful views. Now, it'll be interesting, hang on. I doubt this will work, but sure, we'll see. Let's see, can we land right beside it and get out and walk, right? It's very nice, though. There's cars parked here. We'll go into the field and let's see what we can do. Easy now. Try and give ourselves a bit of a slip. Get around the corner. Easy now. Man, this plane is so maneuverable, it's ridiculous. Watch the stall. Easy now. Easy. Easy. Gently does it. Right, horse it in this way. And gently down. Oof. Easy. Oh, jeez. Easy now. Oh, no. It's all right. There's nothing to see. Fix it. Oh, grand. Right. Hop out here now for a second. We'll leave that engine run. We'll hardly be able to get up there, will we? Hang on. We'll see, right? We felt that in Leitrim. Yes, we did. Who's in the Condor? It's absolutely alarming. Mav, what are you flying in? Because it doesn't look right. Let's see, let's see. I reckon we can get up here. We can get up here. Who needs the steps? Go on, get up, you devil, you. He's doing... He climbs like I do, you know. He's now. Don't fall through it. Who's in the chopper? Get the heli to lift us, right? So it's photogrammetry. I don't believe it's a 3D object. It does show up as a POI though. But like, just to put this into perspective, right? Look at the vantage point it gives you. I mean, that is quite incredible, isn't it? Look at that. Chalks has a proper model for this rather than photogrammetry. That's strange. I don't know why it didn't load in for me. Very strange. Look at the vantage point, lads. Isn't it savage? Mr. Chippy! Mr. Chippy, Mr. Chippy. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. This is Waterloo, yes. Yeah, why is mine not doing that, this stupid thing? It's like it hasn't loaded the Belgian stuff. Which should be streamed, right? I doubt we can do this from the marketplace. I'd be afraid to do this in case it crashes me sim. Let's see. That's interesting, isn't it? I mean, that should just load, because it is a 3D object, so I don't know why it's not loading in for me. Check the mod chat. Yeah, I'm looking at it, Muse, yeah. So very different. And I wouldn't mind in the trailer that I made it was there, so, you know. Right, we'll have to use our imagination. Where's Muse when you need him? Show us that picture. Let's have a look here now. Practically Geek is here. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome aboard. If you squint, you can see it, right? Hang on now. Let us have a look. Bum 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 bum. QC Frank. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that, man. So that's in the officer's mess. Ah, that's mad. Right, hang on, let's bring you over here for a second. So that's what Muse fan can see in his screen. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's for whatever reason the object didn't load in on my screen. But you get the idea, right? That's pretty cool. So that was erected by the Dutch. Now, it wasn't here, obviously, at the time of... it wasn't there at the time, of course, of the battle, right? But it still paints a pretty good picture. I've lost my mouse. There we go. Like, look at the views you have. Isn't this mad? The battlefield of the Battle of Waterloo, right? And if you have a look here... William Sadler's picture of it. Crazy, isn't it? Like, look at this, like, so France against the United Kingdom, Prussia, the Netherlands, Hanover, Nassau and Brunswick. Crazy. The amount of guns, Jesus. Duke of Wellington, Arthur Wesley. He was born, where was he born actually? He was born in Dublin. He was born in Dublin. Jesus. Isn't that why we have the Wellington Monument in the rain? He was born in Dublin, but that's why we have the Wellington Monument in the Phoenix Park, isn't it? No? Wellington Monument? Wellington Monument in the Phoenix Park. Field Marshal Arthur Wesley, 1st Duke of Wellington. So that's in the Phoenix Park in Dublin, known as the Wellington Monument. Here's some completely useless information. Me dad, right? Me dad abseiled off that years ago with the army. They were going up to do something with the, what do they call it, the lightning rod thingy at the top, and he abseiled it. We photographs like in the 70s? 70s or the 80s, abseiling down the side of that. Mad devil, you know. So yeah, that's the Wellington Monument in the Phoenix Park in Dublin. I was the Duke of Wellington once, but they gave you the boot. Brilliant. So Arthur Wesley, right, born in Dublin. What else do we have here now? So here's the map where we were, right? Where we flew up from. So that was the area in which the fighting was. A view from the Lion's Mount. So this is it in real life. That's kind of cool, isn't it? That is cool. What else do we have here? A panorama. Oh, look at this. Hastened south. So Sud is south, isn't it? That is so mad. That's incredible. Look at the view. So that's looking south. Let's see, can we replicate that here in the sim? Which is pretty much here. Isn't it mad what you can do? That's crazy. That's pretty mad, isn't it? That's mad that we can do that. Continue on. So the battle map, right? So the Prussians, Wellington, and where you had the French here, look. So here was Waterloo. And all the attacks that went in. Bloody hell. Morning of the battle, initial disposition of opposing forces. So here's the French down the south. Like, still considerable forces, right? So here's the French down here, right? And you can see the Imperial Guard was held in the rear. And then when you look at the opposition side of it, I mean, they did something kind of similar, right? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Battle of Mount St. Jean. Do you know about Bohemian Grove in Northern California? Gutches. Good to see you, buddy. No. I don't think so. That's our troops. The gate on the north side assaulted by the 1st Legion, who were led by 2nd Lieutenant Legros. Mad, isn't it? I do love a good map. Love it. Never interrupt your enemy while he's making a good mistake. Or when he's making a mistake. That's bad manners. Don't open that can of worms, Roger. The Grand Battery starts in the bombardment. So this is all the artillery firing. And this is where he pushed his Imperial Guard up. That was his last attempt. Do we not have any video from back then? We'd have to... Muse fan, did you not record this video when you were there? No? The Hasty ain't one of Wellington's advanced defensible position. That's mad, it's still there, isn't it? That's mad, lads. Isn't this like savage? We can explore all of this. You were too old for that type of technology. Isn't it mad? Like, we can virtually explore all of this. The charge of the Royal Scots. British Household Cavalry charging. British Household Cavalry. It's mad, lads, isn't it? Sergeant Urt of the Scott Greys capturing the Eagle of the 45th Legion. I'll have that. Dish. That's mad. Dutch Belgian carabiners. Duke of Wellington Centre flanked on his left by Lord Uxbridge, and of the image, Corporal Styles of the Royal Dragoons, flourishing the eagle. Look, mad. The artillery officers had the range so accurately, every shot and shell fell into the very centre of their masses. Jeez. What would they have been? 6-pounders? Because a lot of that stuff came out of the States as well, right? Mad. Storming. Oh, man. And that's just Wikipedia stuff. There's far more than the Wikipedia stuff. Gesundheit, I sneezed. Grenadier of the Old Guard. With Napoleon in the background, look. Fascinating stuff, lads, isn't it? Jesus. A cannonball at Waterloo belonging to... was it French? 6-pounder. Yikes. Lord Hill invites the last remnants of the French Imperial Guard to surrender. Crazy, lads. Absolutely crazy. Right. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Absolutely fascinating. Marriage, yeah, that's what I said. It wasn't up the road or something. They have that armour at the Army Museum in London. Oh, do they? Wow. The history is amazing. The level of artwork to capture it all is insane, isn't it? Right, back into our machine. Right, brakes off. A notch of flaps, and let's get out of here. Grizzle! Yes, there would appear to be a condor in the ditch. let's not pay any attention to the weirdness. I mean, we're in Belgium, like, a great bunch of lads. You wouldn't know what they do next. Hope you're well, man. Right, we're up and at them. Alright. Right, lads, we're heading now. We're going to overfly Brussels on the way to our last stop of the night, which is 40 miles away, just under 40 miles away. So, autopilot back in. And let's have a look here. There we go. Watch your speed. V-speed, up the hill.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Easy now. Autopilot, which was on heading, left turn. Nav mode, 1,000 feet coming up, and let's keep it going. 777, good to see you. All grand, a lovely evening is being had. Excellent. It's mad. So, like, this rise and fall of Napoleon that we've been covering over the past 9 weeks, it went from, you know, Ajaccio in Corsica into the south of France, up near enough to Paris. Then it was down into Italy. Like we've travelled so many places following this story, the rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte. And even today, where we're here at Waterloo in Belgium, seeing everything that we can see here from, and there's photogrammetry here as well, which is brilliant. Nav mode, in there quick. We'll put in an owl intercept route, and nav mode will start up. Do you know? 'Tis but a scratch indeed. Historic wings, not at all. The Condor must have discovered Belgian beer, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah. Line POA may not load if France POI 2020 is disabled. Thank you, Nighthawk. That could be the reason why. Alright. So we're on the last dash. We're going to overfly Brussels, which is coming up right now, and then it's up to Antwerp. As I said, it's about 30 miles out. How Napoleon racked up some air miles. Now, he really did. Like, it's fascinating because, you know, we said this last week as well. Like, history has a terrible habit of repeating itself. You know, it's just incredible to see it. And like next week, we will go to Saint Helena. We're going to fly around that island in an airship, and we'll learn about kind of the final days of Napoleon. Fascinating character. He studied, of course, Julius Caesar. He studied Alexander the Great. So, like, to bring all that to what he did in France. I mean, he was a nobody. He was a nobody. He came out of nowhere. They were, you know, they technically did a bit of aristocracy with his dad and his mother. But, like, that was it. Do you know? Everything he made for himself. Crazy stuff. He had a perfectly nice time in St. Helena. He wasn't happy, but well looked after. Oh yeah, well that was the thing. Like, he wasn't thrown into a jail. He wasn't put in prison. You know. It's mad. Like, when you look, I mean, how many of these figures throughout history can we put in this same sort of limelight? Like, Caesar, maybe. Alexander the Great, even before that, maybe. Napoleon, I think, was different because it was the way he kind of did things. He wasn't the emperor of France. He was the emperor of the French. You know, he was going for the whole French, you know, liberté, fraternité, all this kind of jazz. And, you know, it's not a question of, despite the massive death toll caused by Napoleon, which is kind of where you get the ironic kind of cliche here, but like, was he an evil man? Like, was he evil? You know, I mean, any order, you know, these massive leaders who, you know, brought their country from like peril to absolute dominance. I mean, the only one since Napoleon in this regard in Europe would have been Hitler. You can't have a discussion regarding, you know, was the man evil? Napoleon, you can have that discussion because, well, was he evil? To the French, I don't think he was. Same limelight, Caesar, Alexander, arguably for square miles. Yeah. No, you could say that, but look, that's the way the world worked back then, you know? I mean, you could say the same about Julius Caesar. You can say the same about, well, any of the Roman emperors, right? Alexander the Great before that. I mean, that's the way the world was. It wasn't like, you know, trade wars or any of that jazz, which was Napoleon started, right? Like you can't for a moment diminish any sort of the violence and loss of life. I mean, we're not even going there. I mean, that's you can't have that conversation. It's beyond, you know, it's beyond tragedy. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's back then. That's just the way it was. Like the virtue or the what's the word I'm looking for? Not virtue. The you know, the principles or the views in which we have today were very different back then, right? But also, look at the state of this. But also, a lot of what we have today is because of Napoleon, particularly when it comes to European law. Tons of it, you know. Yeah, I take that muse. Yeah, it was the way of the world. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what he was trying to do in all his battles, like what he was trying to achieve, he achieved an awful lot of it. You know, I just think, for me, on the research of Napoleon, of what he set out to do, and not necessarily about how he went about it, right? There's Brussels, by the way. Not necessarily about how he went about it, but I just think, you know, the military force that he had put together, an empire and all this kind of stuff. What the deuce? Considering he came from nothing, is just staggering, you know? We will continue to fail to learn the lessons from history. Yeah, 100%. Code Civil, most important book. There you go. Don't mind the nuclear reactor up ahead. In Quebec, we're using the civil law based on Napoleon's civil law. There you go. Like, I do have a fascination with history, and anything I've looked at or studied or, you know, just spent a bit of time learning, history has a terrible habit of repeating itself. It just has. Time and time again. Jeez, the photogrammetry in Brussels is pretty sweet, isn't it? We kind of bypass the city a bit, but like out here in the suburbs, it's nice. Over the airport. Tis only savage. Napoleon threatened the monarchies of Europe to their core. They had to put it down. Yeah, but he changed the whole landscape. Prior to that, monarchies were safe. They didn't have to worry. But the French Revolution changed all that. Like, it's mad. We look at France today, you know, and we look at Europe today. This isn't that long ago. Like, you're talking, like, it's just not long ago enough. Caesar and the Romans, that's a long time ago, right? This stuff isn't that long ago, right? What are we absent now? About, what, 6 generations? That's all. It's crazy. But he is, like, you know, he is a fascinating character. The whole story of coming from nothing, where he excelled, where he failed, and for years, and that's the important thing, for years he dominated. He like, you just couldn't stand against him, you know. He shook the British establishment to the core. Yeah. It's nuts. The American Revolution was seen as an outlier. The Napoleon and France showed up. Europe wasn't an outlier anymore. Yeah. What's your favourite historical movie? Ooh, Wexford Hurler? Jeez, that's a great question. Movies. I don't really know. It's a great question. I enjoy historic movies. Like, depends what you say historic movies, but like, Zulu was great. Yes. Rome, the TV show Rome, the series, I love that. Of course, Band of Brothers and all of the HBO stuff, they were all fantastic, you know? Zulu's a great movie. Is it? Roger, yeah, I think we'll just kind of start off near the ground and see what happens. I think it works if you have Navigraph. I could be wrong, though. Master and Commander is brilliant. That is an excellent movie. Mr. Big Bridges says, Murph, if you could create a narrated guided series of flight tours that I can do as an MSFS add-on, I'd buy it. Thanks very much. Pompeii. Briggsy. Was that the one with like Kit Harington? Master and Commander is an excellent movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Russell Crowe is absolutely fantastic in it, but like that is such an accurate telling. And it was during this time. It was during the whole Napoleonic things. Fascinating story. Favorite historic movie, Dark Blue World. Spitfires flown by Czech pilots in the Battle of Britain. Ooh, nice. Where Eagles Dare. There's so many good movies. Like, it depends on what kind of what time you want to lock into. You know, Michael Collins. Yeah, Michael Collins is a great movie. The Wind That Shakes the Barley is another one. The things in movies, the editing is so important because that's where you can lose the train of thought. You know? But like, there's so many movies. Like, keep letting me know what your favorite movies are, especially, you know, that have some sort of a history context to them. Green Mile. Was that the prison one? So much goes into making a great film, from editing to sound and music. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can get all the ingredients right, but if the editing is wrong... Ben-Hur, great movie. Tora Tora, yes. The Great Escape, love that film. Love it. OBXJ, good to see it. Did you know that Patrick O'Brien, the writer of Master and Commander, had never been to sea? What? Really? Bridge of Spies is an interesting watch. Bridge of Spies, wasn't that Tom Hanks, Keen? Glory, American Civil War film? Haven't seen it, girlfriends. Haven't seen that one. Don't know if this counts a history movie, but In the Name of the Father? Yeah, that would work, Muse. Last of the Mohicans? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a great movie, Keen. Tom Hanks. Yeah, that's a great movie. A Few Good Men. Greyhound. Yeah, I enjoyed Greyhound. That's a whole different type of history. Yeah. Watching from Missouri. Welcome in, Jake. Hello from Tipperary. Lawrence of Arabia. Yes. Memphis Belle. Brilliant, Rick. Yeah. The Patriot, of course. Yeah. Mel Gibson was in that. Not a movie, but Band of Brothers. Yeah. A Band of Brothers was just, like, that's how it's done. You know? Dam Busters. I was going to say Saving Private Ryan, but pretty sure that's fictional. It is, but it covers real events, if that makes sense. Stalingrad is a good one. Yeah. What was the other one they did? Was it... It was... who was in it? It was Russian based as well. The Battle of Stalingrad, it was Russian based. Ed Burns was a German in it, and it was about snipers. What was the name? That was a good one. Your man with the thing was in it. Yeah. We Were Soldiers. We Were Soldiers, very good. Emmerdale, since you're on it. Chekhov. Enemy at the Gates. Yes. The Return of Allo Allo. I can't think of a favourite, but I do know I was kind of disappointed with Dunkirk. Mr. Minimite, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I think they kicked a terrible wide with Dunkirk. Empire of the Sun. Dad's Army. Masters of the Air was pretty good. The Dirty Dozen is very good. Kelly's Heroes is very good. Yeah, Crafty, 100%. Kelly's Heroes is brilliant. Schindler's List, of course. Yeah, very powerful movie. Patton, MASH, The Longest Day. 1917, that was a good one, Wexford Hurler. Yeah. That was like live action. Well, I say live action. It was one continuous shot, wasn't it? Pearl Harbor. Kelly's Heroes was a staple of my childhood. Again with the negative waves, Moriarty. Great movie. A mate of mine was director of photography on Masters of the Air. That's awesome. You just watched Strategic Air Command the other day. Really? Oppenheimer. Brilliant. Great movie. The Wrath of Khan. Ice Station Zebra. Ever seen it? Catch 22. Wasn't that a TV show, Malky? Yeah, 1917 single camera. Yeah, it was very good. 1917 was very good. Wasn't Catch 22 a TV show? It was a great movie back in the day. Ah, okay. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Controversial, but I really enjoyed Midway. Ooh. Technically not factual, but The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Oh, Jesus, yeah. It was a film. Catch 22 was a movie and then later a TV show. Bridge on the River Kwai. Great movie. I base my professional personality on Oddball from Kelly's Heroes. Brilliant! Come on, baby. Oh, man. He was a hippie in 1944. It was brilliant. At 21. Tough watch, but a great movie. Yeah. Right. This is Antwerp. We'll make a right turn and then join the runway. 29er. Yeah, like the Napoleon one, it wasn't bad. I didn't like the editing. You know? The Cruel Sea, didn't see that. The Wind That Shakes the Barley, yeah. Two little known movies, Korengal and Where Soldiers Come From. Ooh. A Bridge Too Far, Imitation Game, Operation Mincemeat, all great movies, yes. It's about Afghanistan, okay. Yeah, Bridge Too Far is brilliant. Braveheart, great movie. Old movie now. Das Boot is probably one of the most realistic movies of submariners. When you read the production notes and you read about the director, literally kept the lads in like really bad conditions for filming. Yeah, I enjoyed Greyhound. I thought that was great. Tom Hanks, like you can't go wrong with Tom Hanks. Easy now. There's a lot of great movies. Hacksaw Ridge, yeah. The Revenant. You like to look at this wee plane. Mr. Chippy, this is the Aeroprakt, the A-32 by Godfriends. Isn't it a little beauty? And you can have a steam gauge overhaul or with the modern glass that we're using. We can also have much smaller wheels or we can go with the Tundra tyres. It's an amazing stall capable aircraft, STOL. The Shepherd with Travolta. They left out my character in that. Flags of Our Fathers and Letters of Iwo Jima. Yeah, very, very good. Siege of Jadaville. I mean, it's not terrible, but it was whoever they used as the military freaking attaché needs a, like, what were you thinking? Commandant. We don't say commandant. It covers the story, but like, it's just, I freak out when I kind of see the inaccuracies of the military side of it, you know? You had a Commandant 64. Do you know what I mean? Commandant. Commandant. No, Commandant. Anyway, all very, very good suggestions there, lads. Tons of war movies, of course, but like, historic movies don't necessarily just have to cover war, right? I mean, is there any other historic movies without the war element? You can get into disasters, things like maybe, I don't know, Titanic, or, you know what I mean? The Pacific series that tried to follow Band of Brothers. Well, oh Jesus. Well, it was written by the same crew. And it was just telling a different story, Crafty. It's the same
One,
production.
Runway 29.
And the
remaining.
Pacific, I think, achieved what it had to, because
300 feet.
when you look at, say, Band of Brothers, which, in my opinion, was, you know, the best gelled production, the Pacific and Masters of the Air cover their own areas, right? Back to the Future. Back to the Future. Well done, lads. The Field. The Guns of Navarone. From Here to Eternity. Wasn't that the original Pearl Harbor one? The Guns of Navarone. Your man was in that. What was his name? He was in Zulu. And he did the voice in War of the World. No one would have believed. Burton. Richard Burton, wasn't it? Bloody Sunday, yeah. Dan, good to see you. Murph, good evening, may I say. Nice one for showing us last week, the Innie-Bill's A340. You bought it on Sunday, and OMG, I am a happy chap. Just completed my second flight in it from Birmingham to Malaga. The thing has just got me hooked. Dan, awesome news, buddy. Great aircraft. On the beach, Richard Burton. That's the one, Richard Burton, yes. Saving Ryan's Privates, yeah. The Imitation Game, yeah, that's a great movie. Platoon. Oh, Platoon is very good. What was the one with Christian Bale in Vietnam? They were captured. Of Mice and Men, again, a book turned into a movie. Not factual, but it gave a good idea of life in 1930s America. Ah.
Approaching runway 11.
Enigma. Not an Irish movie based in Ireland. The Quiet Man. Oh, yeah. The Quiet Man. Wasn't that one that was shot down in Kong and Mayo, wasn't it?
1.
Interesting stuff. Right, we're on the runway where you're listening to do The Longest Day, 1962. Come and See, 1985. Full Metal Jacket. A340 is awesome. Empire of the Sun. There you go. Right, machine. And just like that, it's all off. What a great machine. We'll drop the master switch for the battery. And we'll close off our little fuel tanks here as well. Tons of options with this aircraft. It's a beaut, isn't it? An absolute beaut. Riot! The definitive Napoleon film in the 1970 film Waterloo with Rod Steiger as Napoleon. One of the best scenes ever filled. Literally tens of thousands of extras. Oh, I need to watch that, Thunder Chicken. Nice one. Welcome, the bar is open. Come on, bell, bro. Put the kettle on. Get the keg ready. That was a very beautiful flight, I have to say. Right, lads, thank you all so very much indeed for joining us. I had fun, and we learned a lot tonight about Napoleon, but also of a number of movies. Tons of recommendations there. They're all added to my list of things to watch. But yeah, loads of fun. We're back tomorrow at 1100 Zulu. We're going to be flying in the WB Sim Cessna 172 in Flight Sim 2024 to see how it behaves. And we'll do a bit of on-air stuff with that in the morning. Then tomorrow night we have a bit of F1 racing. We've the news on Wednesday. We're checking out the CSS 737-500 and a few other bits. Thursday we've Navigraph during the day, and then we have a Vatson flight at night. Really hoping we wing control Boeing gear arrives for that flight. And then on Friday night we're off to Australia in the Spartan 7W executive aircraft. It's a refurbished aircraft. That's our mission, and we're going to take it out for a nice flight. So lads, thank you all so very much indeed for joining us here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And yeah, we'll be back to you tomorrow at 1100 Zulu. So until then, you take care. Oh no, oh god, oh dear. It's like a friggin' Olympic somersault. What was that, Dwayne? Brilliant. Wait. No Poxem is in the SG 30 something thing. Oh no, Nighthawk. But the mod control, from a viewer perspective, it makes the whole thing quite negative, doesn't it? When you delete, you're sitting there and you're thinking, Jesus, this is painful to watch. This is like watching the end of Glen Rowe. Or engines are now off. I've just killed the mixture. Right? Watch this. Mags are off. feather boat props. My engines are now completely off, right? And I'll know they're completely off because I'm going to keep an eye on the props. They will just stop, right? Engine 1 stopped. Engine 2 stopped. That's the sound I should hear. This is the sound I do hear. What? What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? We need to clip this. Hey, Coronado, Microsoft and Asobo. 3 lads walk into a bar. This is how the sound should be. I've turned off my engines. However, if there's other aircraft of the same description flying from the Coronado fleet, this is what we hear. Ready for this to give up? I'm a little teapot, short
Dreamy, sleepy,
and
nighty,
stout.
snoozy, snooze.
Here is me handle, and here is me spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Just tip me over and pour me out.